And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internets, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we got to talk about Trump's speech at the RNC on Thursday. Good speech, long speech. Some didn't like it. Some had quite a bit to say, but we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, is Biden going to drop out of the race? The mainstream media is doing their best to force him to drop out, leaking all kind of stories. It's funny how these things are coming out now after the general public saw him in a debate. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Reid from MSNBC said that if you are a black or Hispanic Trump supporter, you are white adjacent. I don't really know what that means, but I guess we'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, a former CIA agent and analyst, to be specific, is accused of spying on the USA for South Korea in exchange for expensive handbags, high-end sushi, shopping, living a life at the ripe young age of 52. There's a whole lot more we got to discuss and quite a few videos we got to cover on tonight's episode of ABL Live. Now, how about this? How about we get some light? Let there be light. There we go. Shout out to the lights. Shout out to the Elgato Control Center. Let's not have no mishaps. I think we good with the lights. I appreciate y'all for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like the video so far, if you enjoyed the content so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. When somebody say, yeah, going dark. Yeah, I'm going, what they say, dark Brandon, that's how I think he is right here with the low lights. Nah, I'm good. Let's have full lights. We're not going to be hiding in the darkness or in the shadows or in the basement like creepy Sleepy Joe. We're going to be out in the open and do things in real time. Yeah, CrowdStrike cut out the lights. Shout out to CrowdStrike. You know, people were telling me about that story about CrowdStrike. I wasn't really particularly interested, although I know how that could affect people. A lot of flights were delayed. Maybe I should have done a video on that, but flights were delayed. There was all kind of stuff that happened for a brief period of time. A software issue hit, and because we've become so reliant upon cloud computing, that piece of our system going down shut everything down. So, you know, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Technology makes things easier, makes things more efficient. But at the same time, if there's an issue with the technology, then you can have total failure. You're not able to fly from point A to point B. But I think without a technology, the system we have in place probably wouldn't be possible. Maybe it is, because one thing about the whole CrowdStrike thing, maybe they did or didn't publicize it, is that Russia was largely unaffected. Why? Great question. Because there's so many sanctions on the Russian Federation that they're cut out of a lot of Western systems, including IT and things of this nature. So CrowdStrike may not even be available in Russia. So they got to find a different way for internet security. That doesn't mean that Russia's systems are invulnerable to any kind of cyber attack or a mishap, like a software issue, like they said it was in this one. They said it was a software issue. Who knows? It probably was, because it was resolved quickly. If it was ransom or something like that, it would have been a lot longer. It wouldn't have been so quick of a turnaround to get everything fixed. But anyway, the Russian Federation was largely unaffected by the outage because they're not involved with Western systems. Okay, so I guess that's a good thing for them. Shout out to Russia. And it's crazy because Russia, you know what's really crazy about this whole Russia-Ukraine kerfuffle and the U.S. sanctions on Russia is that it's proving a state can survive without dependence on the United States for whatever, for their technology, exports, and money. They don't have to have the United States to survive, because even now, they're not doing that badly, considering they're in the actual war where they've had hundreds of thousands of men die. They're not doing that bad as a country. they're not doing what the West would hope they would do, which is collapse. Because if they collapse completely, then it's pretty much free game to go in there, take it over, install puppet leaders, steal their resources the same way they did in other parts of the world. That's the objective, in my humble opinion, and also to prevent them from being the world power so they won't be a competitor to Eastern Europe, to Western Europe, and to the United States, to the West. And China has gotten so powerful, there's nothing we can really do about China. We can threaten to try and go into Taiwan, but we would never go into Taiwan. If we go into Taiwan, it's a wrap. They're going to push a button. Xi Jinping is going to push a button, hidden in a big container of honey, the biggest container of honey in the world. He's going to stick that paw at the bottom of the container of honey, get a little giggle, push that red button, and it's going to be a wrap. Okay? Ain't no more Winnie the Pooh jokes. Ain't no more pantsless leader. The emperor has no pants, but he got a big shirt to cover his hind parts. Ain't gonna be no more of them jokes. The button will be pushed, and then it will be a wrap. That's what they call mad, mutually assured destruction, meaning if I have nukes and you have nukes, and I do a thing to provoke you to launch your nukes, then we're both going to be completely obliterated. There's no winner in that situation. So we try to stay away from things that would start that. You shouldn't really be trying to go over to Taiwan. The whole thing with Ukraine is a little bit different. We shouldn't be trying to go really anywhere, but Taiwan, that's going to be a red flag. China may see us going to Taiwan like us going to Beijing and just starting the ground war. That ain't going to happen. But anyway, my point behind all that, this long road I went on about Beijing and Taiwan, is because these countries are often cut off from the systems that the West relies on. So when there's a big outage and the planes can't fly, it might just be some countries that are affected and others are totally fine. It's not, just because it happens here does not mean it happens everywhere. But anyway, I digress. Am I scaring you? No, it's all good. Hey, Winnie the Pooh, I hope is not going to put that paw in the biggest container of honey you've ever seen to hit the button to launch the nukes. I don't think we're going to do that. It'd be foolish because it's like no benefit. What's the benefit of us getting hit by a nuke? Because we then provoked China into launching them. It doesn't make any sense. It's not a logical thing to do. All right. So yeah, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. We got a whole lot going on, a whole lot of videos, a whole lot of whatnot to cover. My favorite story of this week is the new Fang Yum Yum, Sue Mi Young. Nah, pardon me. Her name is Sue Mi Terry. I'm not making this up. Some of you guys were in the comments saying, Sue Mi, really? That's your name? Like lawsuit me, take me to court, bring me up on charges, give me a civil judgment. Sue Mi Terry, not charges, but civil judgment. So this woman, 52 years old, a beautiful woman, by the way, like smoking, like, hey, shout out to her. Hey, you know what? I was watching the video today where it was a young lady talking about, I want to get the treatment that some of those girls on Instagram get. I want to be an Instagram girl. This is a full-grown woman, by the way. Full-grown, looking on Instagram, being envious of women like this. But it's like, hey, this lady right here, you may see a Sue Mi Terry, right? Red dress, 52 years old. Great, amazing. You may see her on the red carpet. You may see her taking the trip. You may see her whining and dining in finest restaurants, taking Instagram reels and doing all kind of stuff, right? You may see that and aspire to be like that, but you don't know what's going on behind the scenes. You don't know that she's being paid to spy in the United States, committing treason against the United States. You don't know that dinner she's on where she's committing treason against us, and you see the pictures on Instagram. You don't know that that's happening. All you see is how pretty she may look or how glamorous it looks and how expensive the place is, but you don't know why she's there, how she got there, and what she does to maintain that facade you see on the internet. So to anybody out there, and we'll get to that story in a minute, to anybody out there trying to compare themselves to what they see on the interwebs, please don't do it, because 9 times out of 10 it's fake. It's not real. Okay, it's not real. Somebody said, Fang sister. Hey, man, I don't know. This lady is from South Korea, the woman I just showed, Sumi Terry. But Fang Fang Yum Yum was from China, I believe. Yeah, it's a few of those. There was a couple of guys that got caught up in the military. I think some of the guys might have been spies themselves, reporting to somewhere. It might have been China. I'm pretty sure it was China. And then I think it was somebody else that got caught up with a honeypot, the classic honeypot. Okay, you're so handsome. Meanwhile, you've never been handsome your whole life. Your teeth looking like it's a whole just crazy forest in there. No kind of direction, no path. You think all of a sudden you're the handsome guy now, and this Chinese woman who looks like she could be on the cover of any magazine is now going to be all on you like white on rice. No pun intended. I didn't mean to do that, but you understand what I'm saying. Please be careful out there. Don't get caught up in those scams. And that brings me to a great segue. Brings me to my intro before we get to the videos here. Shout out to my regular website, AnthonyBLogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website. You'll be able to see articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, you'll see links and sources from the left, from the right, from the politically agnostic, from the local, national, international, whatever you want. I got it. As long as it's legal, I will place it on the website, AnthonyBLogan.com. Full uncensored videos. If I can't put it on YouTube or I got to cut it short, it'll always be there on the website for you guys, 100% free. And also go to the contact page of the website, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact us. You can find my email address, my email address, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, never going to call it X. All those links are right there on the contact page of my regular website, AnthonyBLogan.com. And as I always say, if you're ever wondering if you're conversing with me or not on these interwebs, just cross-reference method of communication. If the email is not my email, which is easy to remember, my email is contact@AnthonyBLogan.com. Again, contact@AnthonyBLogan.com. So if the email is not that email, it's not me. I'm never going to give you a 2,748 digit WhatsApp number to contact. I'm never going to ask you to send me Apple iTunes gift cards. I'm never going to do anything that sounds crazy. Ain't going to be no get rich quick scheme. I don't got nothing for you. All I'm going to do is tell you to like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. If you want to contribute to me, there's always links in the actual video, like on the screen, super chat right there in the chat. In the description section, there should be links in there. I'm never going to leave anything in the comment section, which is where a lot of you guys get caught up. Somebody will reply to your comment on one of my videos pretending to be me, my picture, and then it looks like mine, and then they get you in the DMs and talking on the phone. But some of y'all, I mean, come on, like you're on the phone with these guys. See, it's one thing to email a fraudulent email thinking it's me. Okay, I can understand that to a certain extent, but then you get them on the phone. Hello, is this ABL? This is ABL. How can I help you today, huh? This is ABL. Hey, please give the iTunes gift cards. Now, I don't have time. I must go to the market today. I cannot talk too long on the phone. This is ABL. Okay, like, comment, share, subscribe. It's me, I promise. Oh, that's not me. I don't sound like that. I don't know. You know, some of y'all, like, I think you guys understand that I don't sound like that. I have a very unique voice. That's not my voice. I don't have a West African accent. I don't have an Eastern European accent. I don't have an Indian subcontinent accent. That's not me. I'm not Bollywood, Dollywood. I'm not Russia, Mother Russia. I'm not a Slavic person. I'm just ABL. All right. That's me. You black, white. No, I'm ABL. That's me. All right. So again, don't get scammed. Don't nobody got time for that. I put a little bit of Indian in there. You saw that, Jeef. Shout out to you, Jeef Hotmail. Yeah, I put a little Indian in there. Shout out to the Indians, right? Shout out to the Indians. Great food, good people, having a good time, dancing, the crazy beards. Yo, the guys' beard game is on point. The food's on point. Shout out to y'all. Shout out to the Nigerians as well with the fufu and the jollof and all that, okay? And to the Europeans, hey, I need to plate a borscht, a good plate. I got to find a good European restaurant. I ain't trying to go to Applebee's or something like that, get some kind of cheap knockoff they put in the microwave. I want a real babushka with the head wrap and all that. It's like 4'9" to cook a good fresh plate of pork. Just what I want. All right. But anyway, shout out to y'all for watching. We got a lot to get through. And I think I played this last time, but I want to play it one more time just to hammer the point home. The message that we have as conservatives should apply to everybody. You know, they want to say that some things that we say are racist and it's like a dog whistle, all this, that, and the third, but it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. I'm gonna play it one more time.
Yes,
and I'm messing up already. Shout out to the Struggle Streaming lead attorney.
So yes, this November we're going to make America great again. So yes, this November we're going to make America great again.
There we go. Now, in case you guys can't see the screen, this is somebody in front of a Biden-Harris step and repeat with Trump's Project 2025 on the podium. So they're going to give you propaganda on their website link, if you go to it, of course, because these are Democrats. And she's saying, hey, make America great again. All right. Now, looking at her and the Democrats reminds me that Sheila Jackson Lee passed away. That's not her right there, obviously. But Sheila Jackson Lee passed away. I believe she was 70. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. 75, 74. She was 74 years old. Yeah. And she passed away. I think she had cancer. Yeah, pancreatic cancer. So RIP to her. She, if you don't know who she was a U.S. House rep from Texas from 1995 until 2024, which is 29 years. So shout out to her. Not really fan of her politics, but hey, man, you know, it is what it is. So that's her. But yeah, RIP to her. Now, speaking about politics and the Democrats and whatnot, I may have played this last time, but I got to play it again here because this is, well, actually, no, I probably didn't play it last time because this came out on the 18th, I believe. This is Joy Reid. Joy Reid, who called us, what she say? She called us white adjacent. Matter of fact, I think I may have that clip a little bit later. Let me kind of push it up to the front here. White adjacent. Now, look. What does that actually mean? Why are we being called white adjacent? It's weird. Let me play these first, and then I'm gonna get to the whole white adjacent thing. All right. And this is her speaking. And by the way, all jokes aside, all playing the games. Was that Carrie Bass? It might have been Carrie Bass, JK. Thank you. On the screen. But here we are with Joy Reid from MSNBC. Now, all jokes aside, I prefer the very low haircut style because them wigs she would wear. I mean, hold on. Can I just show the wigs? I'm sorry. Listen, Joy, if you're listening to me, I hope you heard me talking about you in your wigs. I hope that's the reason why we don't see those British powdered wigs on your head like a fitted hat looking crazy. I hope that's the reason why we don't see those anymore because they're ridiculous, man. Like, really? Okay, hold on. I'm going to show you the British powder wig in case you don't know what I'm talking about. You know, for the young guys out there, young girls out there, if you've never seen the British powder wig, I'm going to do a little compare and contrast, okay? Just a teeny bit so you can kind of see what's going on and see what I'm talking about. But I'm giving her a little bit of credit because she cut that ridiculous hairstyle out, all right? So shout out to her for receiving constructive criticism because she needed it. So here's the previous hairstyle, right? Here's the previous hairstyle. Now look, it's like on top of her head like a fitted hat. I have less space in between my head and my hat than she has in between the head and the wig. This did not look good at all. I was saying, look, you know what? You might as well just go with the bald head like Wakanda forever. Just do that. It'll be better, I promise. You got strong facial features, and this crazy Dennis the Menace looking wig on top is not really doing it, all right? Now, here's the British powdered wig I was talking about. That's how you look right there. You see how crazy the wigs look? Like it's a fitted hat. It's just nuts, man. This ain't This ain't the year 1570. We're not bringing out scrolls of paper to read from anymore in the courtroom. Everything's digital. So, yeah. Now, you know, the irony behind Miss Reid saying that we're white adjacent if we're Trump supporters. I'll get to that in a minute. The irony behind her saying we're white adjacent as Trump supporters is that I never put no blonde wig on my head. I never wore a British powdered wig in my life. All right. And nobody never came up with me and said, hey, you know what? Are you trying to be a white guy? I've never had a Dennis the Menace, Donald Trump, British powdered wig on my head. I'm just saying. So who's white adjacent and who's not? I'm just saying. All right. I've also not been married to a white man before, like Don Lemon, one of her friends. But anyway, I'm just playing. But let's go back to Miss Reid again. The hairstyle improved. I appreciate the short hairstyle. What she could do is just cut it off. Like I said, skinhead bald. We could be twins. That'd be better because that blonde look got to go. But anyway, here is her talking about Trump was never really hit by a bullet. It was just kind of like fake.
We still don't know for sure whether Donald Trump was hit by a bullet, whether he was hit by glass fragments, whether he was hit by shrapnel. We don't have those details. We actually have no details from his physician, even though this man is still a Secret Service protected, and presidential candidate. We knew almost nothing. Why? Why don't we know that much? We know that 3 people were shot. 1 person, unfortunately, was killed at the rally. We don't know where they were sitting or standing relative to him. We don't know why, for 9 full seconds, Donald Trump was allowed to stand back up during an active shooter situation, even though they, at that point, had said the shooter was down. How would they have known if there were more shooters or not?
I mean, that's a point to be made. I'm gonna give her a little bit of credit. That's a point to be made. Why was he able to stand up? Well, at that point, it was already clear. Okay, so he got down on the ground. The Secret Service cleared the scene, deleted the shooter. We could talk about why that even happened to begin with. Do you know? Hold on, I'm getting ahead of myself. But do you know that the sniper had a drone in the air before the shooting started? Well before. I think they might not have been there at that time. They might not have had the speech set up. I don't think Trump was there at the time. But this guy was able to get a 5-foot ladder and a drone to the site, and don't nobody know nothing. How is it like there's no security at all? I'm able to climb onto the roof with a rangefinder, a drone. You might as well have had a whole party up there, a whole mariachi band playing on the roof to get a little bit of attention. But I digress.
Nobody knew that there could have been 5 shooters for all they knew. Yet they allowed him to stand up in the middle of that, crisis and pose for a photo.
He sure did. And you know what? It was a great decision. It was a great decision because really at that point, okay, I got shot. They deleted the shooter. I'm okay for the most part. I've been shot, but I'm not like, I'm not disabled. I'm able to still keep on moving. I'm not incapacitated. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not incapacitated at all. I'm able to keep moving. So yeah, I'm gonna do the pose. An iconic picture. And it gives Americans more, it gives us a morality boost because if he was actually get deleted right there or be seriously injured, that'd be a big impact to our morality as a country. And that can impact us in so many different ways. The productivity, aggression in the streets, maybe even some civil conflict can arise when there's a lack of, when there's no morale. When morale's very low in the country, that's when problems start. So what he did was a big morale boost and to let everybody know I'm good. Don't worry about it. I'm here. God's on my side.
And fist pumped the air so he could get the iconic photo. And then they allowed him to stand up again outside of the SUV instead of just shoving him into the SUV. That seems really unusual. What is the actual injury to Donald Trump's ear that's under that bandage? Shouldn't we know that by now?
You didn't see him. He got shot. Like, what do you mean what's the injury under the bandage? He got shot. That's what happened. What more do you need to know? Like, do you need to know how much of his ear is gone? If it's like a puncture or graze? He got shot. It's just that simple.
It's weird. And there doesn't seem to be a whole lot of curiosity about it, in the sort of media world, my profession. It's weird, right? Where are the FOIAs? Why isn't the New York Times aggressively pursuing his medical records? It's just weird. Just a strange thing that I've noticed. And I don't know if you guys have noticed it too.
Okay, so that's Miss Joy Reid from MS13 DNC asking some interesting questions. I don't think anybody really cares about the specifics of the injury. All we know is that we saw him get shot on TV. So what more needs to be said? Obviously, he got shot, his ear was bleeding, and now he needs to recover. Now, you guys know that Creepy Joe has, or at least had, COVID-19 recently. So as a result, all his events, everything that was scheduled got postponed. Now, I don't know how long it's going to be able to do that. I'm not sure if he's back on the campaign. I think they say he'll be back this coming week. So he'll be back this coming week to the campaign trail. Now, I'm not really sure what that entails. Is he going to be doing 2 or 3 stops a day? Is he going to be doing events away from the White House? Is he going to be going away from where he lives in Philly and Wilmington? Is he going to get away from there or go do something else? I don't really know. But here's a clip also from Joy Reid and Jen Psaki and all of them on MS13 DNC.
The question that I have on that, these two men are both elderly. Donald Trump is an elderly man who, for whatever reason, was given 9 seconds to take a iconic photo op during an active shooter situation.
Yes.
Weird situation. We'll figure that out one day. But his survival of that and bouncing right back and going right to his convention is being conveyed in the media world as a sign of strength. This current president of the United States is 81 years old and has COVID. Should he be fine in a couple of days? Doesn't that convey exactly the same thing?
So we're comparing getting shot, getting shot with an actual gun, actual real bullets, not just, it wasn't a paintball, it wasn't airsoft, not a BB gun, just a gun. He got shot with a rifle on stage during the speech. So we're going to compare that to getting over a cold for real. Well, it might be an accomplishment at Joe Biden's advanced age and physical state. But ultimately, we're talking about a virus versus getting shot. It's a tad bit different, just a tad bit. I don't think you really get traumatized from having the cold, but you do get traumatized, I would presume, from getting shot in your head, maybe. I'm just throwing some things out there. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys let me know. If you think differently, let me know in the comments. If you agree, let me know in the comments.
That he's strong enough, older than Trump, to have gotten something that used to really be fatal to people his age. So if he does fine out of it and comes back and is able to do rallies, isn't that exactly the same?
It should.
I mean, it's not exactly the same. It's not the same incident, but it's an elderly man coming through out of an illness.
It should.
Okay, so yeah, it's a tad bit, just a little bit different. Not too much. Just a tad. All right. But yeah, shout out to her. Now, here we go with the white adjacent comment. This might have been during that same time. The white adjacent. So, again, going back to MS13 DNC and Joy Reid for the last time on this show, then we move on. She says that if you are a black or Hispanic Trump supporter, that means you're white adjacent. Now, I kind of want to talk about that idea in a minute. I want to really get into that in a minute, a little bit more than I did in my video.
Yeah, it's interesting because we were talking about this during the break. I mean, this is the Javier Milei election, right? I mean, and then in Argentina, that's how that went, which is that you had this coalition of, and not to be cruel, but, it was described as sort of an incel election. It was the young, angry men of Argentina.
So you're attacking Argentinian. I'm not sure word Argentine. You're attacking the people of Argentina, calling the men weak and incels and voluntarily celibate because they voted for Javier Milei. Now, as I was saying in my video, look, it doesn't matter if these men are what you say. Ultimately, he has good policies because there's a situation in Argentina that's unique to what's happening here. Sort of. They've had a problem with inflation for a long time, a problem with government bloat and overreach and just too much government. So Javier Milei was elected, in my humble opinion, to fix the economy, to fix the government. His policies are what got him elected. Now, if he was able to get attention by being a big personality and all this and that and the third, then bravo. But ultimately, it's his policies that got him in the office, the same way that Trump's policies got him in the office. Trump could be who he is, this, rich guy, entertaining. That's fine. That's great. But what are your policies? What are you going to do as the president? That's the most important thing. All the other stuff, it can help you get attention, but that won't get you over the edge to become the president, in my humble opinion. But let's keep on going.
Argentina, who they wanted a macho candidate, and it went along with policies like banning abortion, banning birth control, and the idea of no fault divorce. It all kind of goes together. That you've seen this kind of election before. You see the same thing in Hungary. The Orbanism of the party it's rooted in returning white Christian men, but also white men and white adjacent men, right. Black men, brown right. men who are white adjacent in terms of trying to also be in that dominant position in society. And then you have women who are willing to go along with that, right? There are a certain number of women who are also willing, the trad wife sort of thing. And so what you've seen on the stage, but what's interesting though, is it J.D. Vance who promotes this kind of thing? He says there shouldn't be no-fault divorce. He says women in violent situations should stay. He didn't say that in his speech yesterday.
There's so much that was said there. I got to kind of jump in. Now, this whole thing about being white adjacent. Hold on. Before I get to white adjacent, I want to address the whole thing about J.D. Vance and no-fault divorce. I never heard J.D. Vance say, hey, if you are a woman getting abused in a relationship, you should just stay. I've never heard him say that. No-fault divorce, and you guys, if I'm wrong, y'all please correct me. If you were to remove no-fault divorce, then it doesn't mean that a woman has to stay in the marriage when she's getting abused. Because wouldn't the abuse be a fault for a divorce? The way it is now with no fault divorce, you could just say, I'm bored, I'm out, divorce. But in years prior, there had to be a reason. Okay, the husband left the family, abandoned us. It's abuse going on, it's infidelity. And by the way, if you cheat on your spouse in Georgia, you could be held legally liable during a divorce. Fun fact. But anyway, that's what that means. So she's just wrong about what that actually means. And if I'm wrong, y'all correct me in the comments. Wouldn't abuse be a reason to get divorced under a system with no fault divorce being removed? You see what I'm saying? Wouldn't that be a valid excuse? But anyway, going to the whole thing about being white adjacent. Now, I guess wanting to be successful, wanting to have power, wanting to provide for your family, wanting to protect your loved ones is white behavior. It's dumb. And you know what? This is an extension of what some of you guys may have faced when you were in school. Oh, you know how to talk properly. You know how to read. You're white. You're white. That's what that means. Okay. Now, I never really experienced that because in my particular neck of the woods, it was, I don't know, it's a little bit different. I feel like if you're in a place where education is not a thing that matters at all, like Baltimore and some of these places, then yeah, if you're going to be the kid that can read, you're going to get teased. Imagine your whole class can't read. The parents can't read. You're the only one that can read. Everybody's black. You're black too. You're different. You must be white. Because the only time they see somebody that can come around and speak properly and read is a social worker, police officer, or something like that. Maybe even a brave teacher for some reason in the ghetto of Baltimore. Okay, a white teacher that can, speak and read properly. That's their only interface. And then, of course, on television. So when you come speaking like you got a brain, you know how to read, you're a white guy. In my neck of the woods, when I was growing up, it wasn't quite like that. because people were more motivated to get education, to get out of the situation. But in some parts of where I was from, you would face, but I was always in honors classes. If I was in like the lower level, kind of like regular school, I would get that treatment. So what she said is an extension of, if you're black and you know how to read, that means you're a white boy. That's like that grade school childish thinking. 55 years old, Joy Reid, let's grow up now. Okay, let's grow up. I don't care what color you are. Education is the key to success. Okay. Now, I'm not saying you got to go to college and get a master's degree to be successful, but you got to be educated. You got to know how to read. You got to know how to write. You got to know how to use your hands. Be educated with that. Have skills, education, knowledge. If you don't have that, you're going to be behind. So I guess, hey, wanting to be in society and be productive and not a bump on the log or drain on resources, a useless eater, wanting to do that makes me white adjacent. So I guess everybody's white. That's what that means. When you see me in public, you see this big, tall black guy. Look, don't worry about that. I'm white. I identify as white if white means knowing how to read and knowing how to get money, how to be successful. That's what that means. Okay. So shout out to Joy Reid. I learned something new today. I'm a white guy because I know how to read. That's what's going on with that. All right. And I want the best for my country. That's what that means. All right. So anyway, shout out to her. Now, we got a lot of video here we got to get through. We have a whole lot of video, a whole lot's going on. Yeah, I don't want to see from the View. Hold on. Here's the article about the gunman. Let's look at this. This is from PBS. Gunman flew drone over rally site in advance of attempt to assassinate Trump, according to an official. This came out today, just a few hours ago at about 6:14 p.m. So now we're at about 8:46. So this is pretty recent. A drone. Listen, the security here was so crazy. It was no security. You had normies on the ground next to the roof with camera phones. Hey, there's a guy on the roof. Hey, Secret Service, I'm filming a guy on the roof. How is there an excuse? How is there an excuse to leave that roof unguarded, unattended, unmonitored when normies were able to monitor it? They saw him on the roof with their actual phones. The police saw him. Officer went up there, tried to approach him. Guy shows his weapon, and then the officer tries to retreat, and he slips and falls off the roof, 8 feet to the ground. Boom. Okay. How could that area of the roof not be secured? The most obvious building in all of the United States to try and shoot someone on a podium for, the most obvious place for that was unguarded. Or we're going to guard it from the inside. Really? No security. The gunman flew a drone, so he was able to see. You know what we were talking about as far right when the whole thing happened? Why was there no drone on this guy to have some security to monitor? If you can't put these guys on that little baby slope roof, I mean, listen, if that roof was too sloped to get on, then the people who are supposed to be on the roof have no business in Secret Service. And as a matter of fact, they were talking about it was kind of a ragtag team, and it was Homeland Security investigation people rather than Secret Service for the most part, which explains why we saw some of this kind of activity right here. Hold on. Do I have? Yeah, I got some of this right here. Now, look at this. Let me turn this sound down. Okay, look at the young lady right there. You see the woman in front of the vehicle? She's the only person right there. She's struggling very hard to get the pistol into in the holster, to holster her pistol. Now, I got the sound off. Hold on.
My friend saw blood coming out of his head.
I'm going to turn that sound off. But yeah, struggling to get the gun in the holster. Let me see if I can show it. So you can see her. It's kind of hard to see, but she's standing right there the whole time trying to holster her weapon. Now, I'm not sure if that was the same lady that was struggling earlier, when the president was getting evacuated, struggling to holster the weapon. I would think that in order for you to be around the president to provide any kind of security in that capacity, maybe holstering your weapon should be something you know how to do. I'm just saying, I'm not saying every normie can do that with confidence. You know, if you never had a gun in your hand before, you don't know what a holster is. Okay, I understand. If you're a complete beginner, a noob, as a cool kid say, or as a 41-year-old say from 2000, if you're that, I understand. But you're guarding the president and you can't holster your pistol? Is the holster not fitting the gun properly? Did you not test the holster gun combination before you went out to protect the president? Just a little bit, just a little check. Okay, to make sure I can just, making sure I can hit it in the holster quickly, making sure that it is secure, it's not going to fall out. The retention is good the way I want it to be. Not too much, not too little. Make sure the slide racks go to the range. Make sure I can fire it. Make sure it's not dirty. You should do all of that before you go out and try to protect the president. Am I doing too much? Is that too much of a list? Hey, all right, Miss Jane, whatever your name is. Today's the day you're going to go protect the president as part of his Secret Service detail, although you're really Homeland Security. But don't worry about that. Today, you're Secret Service. So that's the game plan. Maybe a week or two out. You should make sure you get everything you need. Your service weapon, make sure that's good. Make sure you can make sure everything is good to go. But they didn't. No security on the roof. No security near the roof. They were securing the building from the inside, but didn't hear a tussle on top of the roof between the officer and the gunman. They didn't hear the gunman get on the roof. They didn't see him get on the roof. He had a ladder. he bought a ladder from a hardware store, a 5-foot ladder, unfolded it, got on top of the roof, had a drone flying around, a rangefinder. I mean, listen, he did everything he could have done to alert the authorities of his presence beyond putting one of those bendy little floats, you know what I'm talking about, in front of a car dealership. One of those that's powered by wind or fan or whatever it is. Yeah. Hold on. Y'all know what I'm talking about. I got to put it up right quick just so I can make the image. What's that? The balloon. Probably a balloon. Yeah. There we go. One of these bad boys right here. Okay. He might as well been on top of the actual building looking like this. He couldn't have been no more obvious. Okay. And that roof behind this little character is about as sloped as the roof was in Butler. Put that guy on top of the thing. They probably would have been like, oh, we didn't see him. We didn't see him on top of the thing dancing, music, a mariachi band. And then when he shot at the very last minute, we had to go in and delete him. Oh, man. This is so terrible. This is really bad. Really, really bad. I'm getting triggered, so I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That will help me out tremendously. All right. Now here we go to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, a.k.a. AOC. And, they're talking about let's tamp down the rhetoric. Let's not be trying to ruffle any feathers because we just try to assassinate the president. Let's temper the rhetoric. The left are trying to be the ones talking about let's tone down the rhetoric. That's their thing, right? That's the thing they say. It's not us that need to tone it down. It's y'all on the left. Not you guys who are watching. You guys are always on point. The left must be the ones to tamper these things down. It's not us. We're not the ones that got the issue. All right. So here's AOC.
Donald Trump is also very old and a racist and a neo-Nazi. But anyways, I'm not even going to talk about Trump right now.
So leftists on one hand say, let's tone down the rhetoric. Let's not get too far out there. Let's just make sure everything is okay. We just had an assassination attempt. We don't need inflammatory comments. What does AOC say? Trump's a Nazi. Okay, cool. So AOC, let's have a little HR meeting, shall we? You know, we said in the team meeting on Monday that we can't have the inflammatory rhetoric because of the assassination attempt on Saturday. Remember that whole thing? So we got to just double back on that. We got to kind of circle back to those comments. And I got to tell you that when you called Trump a Nazi on your Instagram Live, that might have been a little bit over what the company has laid out as far as their policies. So yeah, let's not do that anymore. Will she listen? I think not. Now, is there more from her? I think there was something else. Here we go. So yeah, shout out to whoever made these clips into 10-second clips for some reason.
Is that everybody is terrified of a Trump presidency, and everybody wants to do everything and anything possible to prevent that from happening. And I think that regardless of your position on that, I think an overwhelming amount of people are motivated by that.
So are you saying that there we go with the white supremacy sign? Is that what that is right there? Ain't that what they said a few years ago? That if you do the OK sign, that's white supremacy. But anyway, so are you saying that the shooter was motivated by the desire to get Trump out of office or to prevent him from getting in office again? So are you trying to make excuses for the shooter? That's what it sounds like. Now, of course, if you ask her, she's not going to say that. She's not going to say that's the reason why she said what she said. She's not trying to justify it. But, I mean, if you are a person like the shooter, you're going to hear that and it's going to be a big, giant dog whistle. Because you can easily just say, you know what, go out there and vote. We got to get him out of the way. Go out there and vote. Do the right thing. But you didn't do that. You didn't do that. You just decided to go with an inflammatory comment, which we all know is designed to put negative energy out there against the president. So then somebody might go out and try to do something crazy because they are motivated to do that. Okay, that's kind of what it sounds like to me. All right, now, did you guys see this? The city councilwoman in New York, Susan Zhang or Zhuang, the Democrat. Did you guys see what she did? Now, this happened, I guess, a couple of days ago. I'm just now seeing it. Listen, you guys got to stop doing this crazy stuff, man. Some of y'all, look, you guys I'm talking to right now don't have the problem. But some of these people in power, I mean, what in the world's going on? So, New York City Councilwoman Susan Zhang, Democrat, bit a NYPD police officer. Bit him, like a whole animal. Let's watch. We have video. Let's watch.
Susan.
All right, here we go.
Zhuang tussling over a barricade with an NYPD officer. This photo shows Zhuang.
Okay, so you see her right there. You see the officer in the white shirt with the black hat. Susan is in this hot pink fuchsia top and got the mouth wide open and is ready to chomp on this man's forearm. Like, what in the Pac-Man? What in the Donkey Kong? What in the Frogger? What in the hungry hippo is going on here?
Opening her mouth, the NYPD says, to bite Deputy Chief of Patrol Frank DiGiacomo. This is the injury he suffered from.
Do you see this? Are you seeing the teeth marks? Listen. She bit the mess out of him. You see where the front teeth went in. That's a crazy stereotype anyway. You see where the front teeth went in, and you see where the rest of her whole mouth, the bottom row, made a complete circle on this man's arm. Bit this man. I mean, look, if she would have got a little bit more leverage in her bite, this man would be missing a patch out of his arm. Okay, the outline right here, it's like it's already perforated by her teeth. If she was to continue to bite, like, you know, the bath salt type high that people do when they do stuff like this, that whole chunk would have been off. It's already perfed by her teeth. A little bit more pressure. a little bit more PSI on that bite, it would have been gone. She's not quite at the pit bull level of forcing the bite yet. That's like a little bit past Chihuahua, maybe. But yeah, that's not very comfy to get bit like that by a human being.
From that bite, according to the NYPD.
Councilwoman Zhang has been a great partner with the New York City Police Department for a long time.
I can't tell. A great partner? What kind of great partner would bite you? Not even your canines would do something like that. A canine is better partner to the NYPD than this crazy grown woman biting people in their arm.
But the actions today of assaulting one of our police officers, deputy chief, by biting him viciously in the arm, I can't explain it right now.
Zhuang was arrested and charged with second and third degree assault, both felonies, and resisting arrest. She was arraigned tonight and released, but refused to explain what happened.
Now, you know, New York being New York, this lady right here can bite somebody, almost take a big chunk out of their arm, leave teeth marks and all that, and not get any kind of punishment. That, at this point, is New York City. So, I mean, it is what it is. And I think there's a lot of favoritism that goes on, of course. A lot of lawfare. So Donald Trump got convicted for paying Stormy Daniels some money, which last time I checked really isn't illegal. If you guys give me some money or I give you some money, is it illegal? Did I buy drugs? Did I buy a gun? What did I buy with the money? All I did was just give it to you. That's it. Now, people could say, oh, well, the reason why you got locked up, or not locked up, pardon me, convicted, quote unquote, is because some random obscure law about campaign finance is BS. Nobody else would have been prosecuted for that other than Trump because they don't like Trump. That's the only reason why that's happening. Now, her bit a police officer, not just a regular normie. You're a city council member of New York City biting an NYPD officer on camera with pictures. Will you get any kind of prison time, jail time, anything, a fine, a community service? Will you do that, or nothing will happen? We'll see.
The councilwoman is not going to speak. We have advised her not to talk about the events of this morning. As I said,
Susan Zhuang.
Man, look, ain't no way. You got to go. You have to go. You can't be on city council no more. And my thing is, what are you even doing? Why were you even out there to get arrested? Let me see if I can find the backstory right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Okay, I got an article right here. Let's go ahead and pull that up and see what's the big fuss. What's the kerfuffle all about? Okay, and you see her face right here. Okay, no, let's not show notifications. Thank you. I mean, what in the world? You see that face? Looking like you about to climb out of my TV and terrorize me like the Ring. I don't want to see that come out of my TV. So it was a protest against a homeless shelter development in her district. Brooklyn Councilwoman Susan Zhuang expected to get a parade thrown in her honor in her borough, where her supporters maintained she was brutalized by the cops during the chaotic demonstration. I don't see any bite marks on her. I think the biting is a one-way street. If your dog bites me and I'm just like delivering the mail, are you going to say that it was like the dog got brutalized? Hey, I'm just a mailman delivering your package of protein powder to your door. All of a sudden, your big Siberian husky comes leaping over the fence and bites me square on my ankle. Is that my fault, or is it your dog's fault, or is it your fault for not securing your dog? Either way it goes, it's not my fault for getting bit. I didn't do anything to provoke the dog or anything of the sort. Anyway, they're going to throw her a parade. See, that's a problem right there with New York City. I don't even want to read the rest of this. I just wanted to see what the context was. Listen, that's part of the problem with a place like New York City. Those of us on the outside looking in think, why do you have Kathy Hochul? Although I think she might have been appointed. It doesn't really matter. Cuomo, why do they have Eric Adams and then the guy before him, de Blasio? Why do they have these people in power? Why can't they vote them out? Can't they see that these are not good leaders? We say that being on the outside looking in, It's the people of New York that got to tighten up. It's the people of New York. They are going to throw a parade in her honor for biting a cop. That's the problem. This is part of the reason why you got these California expats coming to different parts of the country. It's sometimes problems. Not all you guys. A lot of you guys are conservative Californians, and when you move, you do as you're in Rome and you do as the Romans. So shout out to you guys. Unfortunately, some of your counterparts, some of your brethren don't do that, and they come California eyes wherever they move. Being in Phoenix, Arizona, Scottsdale, that ain't nothing but Los Angeles, Southern California part 2. Vegas, some of the same thing going on out there. Austin, Texas, same thing. They're trying to do it in Nashville as well. They're trying to California-ize Nashville, but the thing about Nashville is that it's such a red state around it. You can't really do that too much. I mean, Austin, Texas, I guess, you got a big red state in Texas as well, but Tennessee's a little bit different. It's a little bit different, and you have different parts of the state that are kind of separate from each other. Middle Tennessee is its own thing. East Tennessee is its own thing. It's just different. But anyway, so yeah, shout out to the angry biting councilwoman. Hey, man, you got to lock her up, man. Put a muzzle on. Do something, man. You can't have her out here biting people. That ain't really what you do. Exactly, Callie. A parade in her honor, that's nutty. Exactly. Now, speaking about California people, Mark Zuckerberg. And by the way, if Mark Zuckerberg is Jewish and Jews aren't considered white to some people, that could be an argument. I don't want to go down that road, but let's just hang with me. If Mark Zuckerberg is Jewish and Jews are not considered white by some, and he says that it was an amazing moment to see Trump get shot and then rise back up to pump the fist, is he white adjacent? Joy Reid, going back to her right quick. Joy Reid, are you going to call Mark Zuckerberg white adjacent? I don't think so. I don't think you're going to get on Al Gore's internet or the television and say that Mark Zuckerberg is white adjacent. No, you will not do that. But pick on the black guy, right? And the Hispanics. Okay, pick on us. We're like low on the totem pole. But Mark Zuckerberg, you would never. But anyway, now here Mark Zuckerberg is praising Trump about what he went through. Check it out. Yeah, he sure did. All right, he sure did say that, Robbie Mill.
I've done some stuff personally in the past. I'm not planning on doing that this time. And that includes, not endorsing either of the candidates. Now, look, there's obviously a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. The historic events over over the weekend. And on a personal note, it's, seeing Donald Trump get up after getting shot in the face and pump his fist in the air with the American flag is one of the most badass things I've ever seen in my life. But look, it's, and I think, look, it's, at some level as an American, it's like hard to not get kind of emotional about that spirit and that fight. And I think that's why a lot of people like the guy.
So, yeah, keeping it all the way real. That was a great statement from him. And I like how he didn't say, you know what, I want to endorse or I don't want to. I like that a lot. He didn't do that. He just said, hey, you know what, this is my thought on it. And he was just being really honest. Most people are going to believe that they're going to be in the same boat with him. They're going to be on the same boat with him. Not so much for Joe Biden. They're not really going to be there. We got an article right here from yesterday. It says more Democrats ask Biden to drop out. His campaign says he'll be back next week. Now, this is yesterday again, so that's Friday. Right at COB, close of business, 6:49 p.m. Eastern, a little bit beyond close of business. This is on NPR. So, do you guys, I got to ask a question. I won't do a poll, just ask a question. Do you guys think Biden will drop out? Now, let's be clear. The DNC, Democratic National Convention, is in Chicago starting August 19th. Let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. DNC Chicago, that's going to be August 19th to the 22nd. So in 1 month, because today's the 20th, In 1 month, the DNC will begin. And by that time, they're going to need their nominee, because what you do at the DNC, you accept the party's nomination. The same thing that Trump did, and the same thing that J.D. Vance did as far as being the vice president. There's a lot of people on television saying, hey, you should drop out, and it's pretty much over. It's time. A lot of Democrats are speaking out vocally saying, hey, man, you got to go. So let me see. Was it paying him enough? No, he going to have money. They'll keep giving him money. He'll need no more money. He got 10 for the big guy. Joe Biden got his Joe Biden has the bag secured, even beyond what the federales are going to do. Okay. Even beyond that. So let me read a little bit here. It says more Democratic lawmakers on Friday publicly called for President Biden to end his campaign, including Ohio Senator Sherrod Brown, the black guy. That's bold. Shout out to him. Go out there and do the dirty work for us anyway. Who said the inter-party drama was a distraction from issues important to voters in this tough re-election race this fall. I think a lot of guys are, well, he's not black. He's white. I'm tripping. This guy's white. Sherrod, that's your name, Sherrod. There's another guy that has the name Sherrod, and he is not white. Yeah, this guy. Hold on. Sherrod, that's your name? Okay. I would not think this guy looks like a Sherrod. Maybe a Ted or a Bill, a Dave, something like that. Okay, Dave Brown, that's your name. Sherrod, I don't know where that came from. You might have had a black nanny or something. But anyway, shout out to you, Sherrod. But he's saying you should drop out, stop it. But as I said, listen, it's too late. It's too late. It's too late. Whatever is going to happen has already happened. There's not going to be any new developments. Biden saying I'm not going to go anywhere. I'm staying in the race. So look, hold on. It says Biden was isolating in his beach house out there in Rehoboth Beach, where he had the papers next to the Corvette, I believe. Remember that, in the garage? Anyway, he was in this beach house after getting COVID earlier this week. But he said in a statement on Friday that he would be back on the campaign trail next week. So you just take days off, take weeks off at the beach house, chilling. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris obviously don't run this country. And if you think they do, I don't know what to tell you. Kamala is incompetent and has always been like that for as long as I can recall. And Joe is incompetent, but also mentally unable to really do much. They would prefer he did not campaign, just stay at the house. But there's no more excuse of, I got to be in the basement for 3 months because I can't campaign because COVID-19 is out here and I'm going to just stay in the basement. Ain't no more of that teleconference, Zoom. Trump's out here doing rallies. You are at your beach house in your robe chilling. Yeah, it's not gonna happen too much. Okay. Pat says, how can he go out to campaign if he has COVID? Well, at a certain point, you got to, not have it anymore. You don't have COVID forever. A week, maybe, I suppose. And you get right back to it. And that goes back to who was that? Joy Reid earlier talking about, well, Biden has COVID. So if he's able to recover and he's just fine, isn't that almost the same thing as Trump getting shot in his head and not dying and recovering and coming back in the week and doing a campaign speech and the RNC acceptance speech 90 minutes? It's a mess. It's crazy. Now here is Cedric Richmond. Now, Cedric, you look exhausted. They got y'all running ragged over there. Man, you got to do something else with your life, man. You looking older than Ben Carson. And you probably about 50-something years old. How old is this guy? Cedric Richmond. He is 50, right on the dot. 51 in September. My man, get a little bit of rest. You look like you're about to just completely fall apart. And what do you even do? I think he is the head of the CBC, Congressional Black Caucus. What do they do? Nothing. Hold on, let me make sure I'm saying the right thing. Congressional Black Caucus leader, Stephen Horsford. Who is this? Stephen Horsford. Okay, I never seen him before. Interesting. Hold on. Actually, I have seen him before. I have seen this guy before. Somewhere else, like in the street, though. Interesting. Very interesting. But anyway, let's hear from Cedric Richmond. I think he's a House rep in the Democratic Party. Check it out.
You first talk to us about whether the reporting in the New York Times and in other outlets is correct that President Biden is considering stepping off of the Democratic ticket.
The New York Times reporting is absolutely wrong, and it's been consistently wrong. The president has said that he is running, and it's the end of story. And so he was just out here in Nevada talking to the NAACP, and he is running his campaign along with the vice president.
Can you first talk?
So they got him being the co-chair of the Biden-Harris campaign. That's why he looks so
The
disheveled.
vice president.
That's why he looks so disheveled, because you got the probably the worst job in the world right now. You're the co-chair of the Biden-Harris campaign. That ship is sinking. You're like on the Titanic with the horns or whatever they had planned as the ship sank. That's you right now, Cedric Richmond, because you know that's going nowhere. I mean, you need to be looking for new jobs, because this is just not going to really work out. You could be on there getting the check, I suppose, but you're going to lose. So it don't really matter, I guess. Now, Mark Cuban, what is Mark Cuban doing? I've not seen this clip. Actually, no, that's an old clip. I ain't going to play that. I don't know why people play old clips like that. All right, I kind of want to go ahead a little bit here. Shout out to the homeowners associations out there in the world. I know that some things you guys are not allowed to have, political flags, things of this nature. Even during a time like this where you got a lot of stuff happening, sometimes these things are banned, because what can end up happening, you have neighbor wars. Okay, one neighbor has a flag, you have a flag, you got a Trump flag, they got a Biden flag, then they put up an LGBT flag. Okay. Now, matter of fact, hold on. I'm gonna find that one, because there was one clip where the neighbors had opposing flags. And then there's another clip where a guy has a really crazy thing going on. Let me find that right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. I might not be able to find that one. All right. I'm going to go straight to this one right here. Now, yeah, RIP to the HOA. They're not going to like this at all. Okay, we don't have any sound here. Probably music on it. So what we see, we got we have the American, the circular American flag. I'm not sure what that's called. We have that upon these balconies. And I don't know who this guy is, but this house, man, good grief. You have some money. Sir, can I borrow $1, please? Anyway, so you got the flags hanging from what appears to be 3 different balconies on the side of the house on each floor. 2nd floor, 3rd floor, 4th floor, balconies. Then you have giant banners. You got 2 giant banners. One says, "You missed," very big at the top. At the bottom, it says Trump 2024. In the center is the iconic fist bump picture when Trump got shot in his ear. Okay. And then on the other side, you got a portrait of Trump with 2 big American flags on the side. And it says at the bottom, "Bulletproof." So yeah, shout out to him. Is it Florida? It looks like a West Coast situation. I could be wrong though, because that grass is like turf, but I don't know. If it's Florida, hey, shout out to Florida. Yeah, and it's almost at the top. Oh, it says at the top of the bulletproof. It says legend at the top of the bulletproof one with the portrait, and then they get on the other side. "You missed Trump 2024 iconic picture." I mean, that picture, you cannot make that picture up. You got the American flag waving in the background. You got a president shot, bloody, fist up, agents trying to stop him, sunglasses, dark sunglasses with the agent. You can't make that picture up. There's no other way to describe that other than God coming in and saying it's going to be so. how else could that even really happen? I was watching Joe Rogan and they were talking about that. They were talking about how even if you don't believe in God, you have to look at that and be like, how else could that have happened other than God intervening? I don't see how. Yeah, definitely an historical moment for sure. Absolutely. And we got a whole lot more. We got a few clips from, of course, the speech. But first, a little bit more about real estate. Now, this is crazy. Now, I'll show some of these to show you what's going on with the market out here. So the caption says, what does 750,000 U.S. American cold hard cash dollars get you in Los Angeles? You guys out there, Southern California, you already know. Do you see this disaster? Do you see this bando, this torture house? This looks like the kind of house they would film a snuff video in. If I see this house on my timeline on the video, I'm going to go ahead and report it right away because it's going to be something bad happening here. But check it out.
$1,000 get you in Los Angeles.
Well, I'm gonna start from the top so people that can that are not watching can hear it.
What does $750,000 get you in Los Angeles? This one bed, one bath bungalow with 544 square feet of
one bed, one bath, 544 square feet for $750,000. Check it out.
Living space located in Elysian Heights. We're at 1916 Whitmore Ave. The kitchen and bathroom have been recently updated and there's a washer dryer setup. Additional updates include a new roof, solar, and a hardwired security system. Location is everything and there's easy access to the 5, 2, 110, and 101. If you like my content, please give me a like and a follow. It would mean the world to me. And if you'd like to work with me as your agent, DM me or send me a text and we'll schedule a time to talk.
Man, look, I mean, see, now I understand why you got so many Californians leaving, because if I couldn't afford, like if I got the cash to pay a down payment on something like this, what, $750? You know, so you're talking about what for a down payment? 20% on the conventional. If it's $1 million home, that's $200,000. So probably like what, 150, 175? Yeah. Ain't no way. If I got that kind of money, I would just go somewhere else and just pay that and get a very low mortgage. It just doesn't make any sense. It's crazy. Hold on, let me just calculate that. So, yeah, 150. A down payment on this at a 20% mortgage, at 20% of the price would be $150,000. $150,000 for down payment on this at 20%. If you get that kind of money, just go live somewhere else. But the problem is you got too many people that have bad political ideology move into a place with that same idea, and then they transform it into what they just left. So then this kind of activity, some kind of ramshackle hut looking thing will cost the same thing in the new place that it costs in the old place because of the new people coming in with all this money driving the cost of housing up. Yeah, it's crazy. Hold on, let me see. Hey, Andrew Lapiness really wants to get my attention with the all caps. It's a property value, not the buildings. It's the property value. I got you, man. I promise I do. Shout out to you, Andrew. I promise I got you, man. But look, okay, so you paying. So what are you going to put right there on that lot, though? 544 square feet. What are you going to put on that lot? It's not too much backyard, and you got a hill to do with. What are you going to put on that lot? Ain't no way. And then you probably in the ghetto as well. You probably gonna live in the hood. So nah. All right. Anyway, shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all for joining. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, yeah, shout out to you, Andrew. I appreciate it, man. It worked, right? It got my attention. But okay, let's go to the spy, shall we? The spy from South Korea. And I noticed when I posted the video, some of you guys are kind of confused. Like, what do you mean that she spied on sushi? What happened? So a woman who was born in Seoul, South Korea, who now I guess might be a U.S. citizen, lives in the U.S., married to a guy we'll talk about in a minute, who's an American. She spied on the United States for South Korea in exchange for expensive designer handbags, expensive dinners, sushi, and things of this nature, high-end sushi. Didn't even get paid outright, just got wined and dined. That's crazy. So you're going to commit treason for a plate of fish, a plate of sushi? Is that what we're going to do for real? Like, that's what's going to happen. We're going to do that. Now, this reminds me of Eric Swalwell. Remember Eric Swalwell got caught up with a spy, a Chinese spy, some years back. This is, I guess, a congressional hearing where somebody brought it up. And I feel like they're kind of punishing him for that. Because sometimes they talk about an issue in Asia or a spy in China at some kind of Senate hearing. And then they'll randomly just pan over on the camera to Eric Swalwell and see his reaction. They're punishing him. And this could be part of it right here. For getting caught up with a Chinese spy and probably telling some secrets you shouldn't have told. This is back in 23.
Mr. Chairman, Ms. Rodriguez, I apologize that you're here for a hearing on the border. They don't want to talk about a border. Mr. Swalwell is down there. Obviously, everybody knows he's made some comments. He's got a checkered past. He's alleged relationships.
A checkered past? I would ask.
It's my time. Alleged affairs, relationships with
No.
Yum
Sir,
Yum.
you don't get to say that shit. That's not true.
He had alleged relationships with Yum Yum.
I ask the gentleman's words to be taken down.
You don't get to say
Mr.
that,
Chairman,
pal.
I ask the gentleman's words to be taken down as casting a slur on another member.
I am here.
He's making.
I ask the words of the gentleman be taken down as casting a slur on another member.
Let us have some order and civility here, and we will take up the issues one by one.
Mr. Chairman, I ask that.
So yeah, shout out to Yum Yum, aka Fang Fang. Now, there's a good comment right here. Somebody says, "Hey ABL, don't laugh at Eric. You sounded pretty smitten a while ago." I mean, look, I can acknowledge that the lady is pretty without giving out classified information about the United States. I can do both. I can say, hey, you know what? That's a nice looking lady. At the same time, say, I'm an elected official. I'm not going to blab about secrets to this lady because she's pretty. You know, that's the point. I'm not going to let a spy get in my circle because she's pretty. That's crazy. You know, that's like saying, hey, you know what? This is a pretty girl on the side of the road. I saw her and she needed my help. Matter of fact, it was a story I'll tell right quick before we get to this. But I just seen so much. I just kind of know not to. This is kind of obvious though. I went to the ATM one time. This is years ago in Virginia. I went to the ATM one time. I'm driving, and this bank was kind of. It wasn't off the main road, but the way the ATM was, it's kind of like nobody back there. It's kind of hard to explain, but basically, I pull up to the ATM, and I'm seeing this girl outside standing up at the ATM. Red flag right there. Why are you doing that when there's cars around? There was 2 cars with a bunch of ninjas, okay, ready to fight. In the cars, smoking, music, and she's standing there at the ATM, not pushing buttons. I already know what's going on. The girl, to some guys, might look good, right? To me, I wasn't really feeling it. I was like, I see the setup. Somebody's going to be like, hey, fine lady, how are you doing? And then all of a sudden, the guys in the cars, 4 deep in the Ford Explorer, not a Ford Explorer, what's that? The Ford Focus, a small car, sedans, right? Not even the Charger or a Hellcat, small cars. They're in the cars, they're going to get out and rob you. That's what's going to happen at the ATM machine. You got your card out already. They're going to get you right there at the ATM machine, and they're using her to lure you in. I've seen that happen a lot of times in the street. So for me, I already know kind of what's going on. But obviously, Eric Swalwell did not with Yum Yum. He did not know what was happening. He just kind of fell for the okie doke. Okay. But I've been in that situation before where it was a setup happening with a girl involved. So here we go. Ex-CIA official double as secret South Korea agent in exchange for designer handbags, high-end sushi dinners. I'm not making it up. She didn't even get paid. She was just wine and dine. Hey, you want to go to this nice restaurant in Manhattan? You want to go on this trip and look luxurious on Instagram? No problem. I got you. And she was married. And she wasn't a poor person. Her husband, Max Boot, who we get to in a minute, is a Washington Post columnist and a nut himself. We'll get to that in a minute. She was a CIA analyst. So you have a good job. So does your husband. You live in the high life already. But maybe it's a combination of two things going on here. First of all, she's from Seoul, South Korea. So you might want to kind of help your home country, and by spying, which you can't do, and you want to live some more of the high life. Your job, your husband's job, you probably make close to $1 million a year from your combined salaries. Maybe I'm kind of overestimating, maybe probably 500,000-600,000 you make. You do well for yourselves. You're smart people, educated, making money. It's not even enough. I want to get more. I don't even want money. I want to just have the experience. And for that, she was able to spy. So look, Sue Mi Terry, 54 years old, from South Korea, was selling access to U.S. officials for a Louis Vuitton handbag, Dolce & Gabbana coat, and high-end sushi. Now look, I'm not ever going to be a trader, but if I was to be a trader, maybe my price might be a little bit more than handbags and sushi. I'm just saying, okay, maybe I want more than that. Maybe give me access to a database of a whole country or something like that. Okay, give me unlimited resources, gold bars like Bob Menendez. Give me the gold bars and the cash and duffel bags rather than a plate of sushi. You could not ever bribe me by taking me to Nobu in Atlanta talking about, hey, here's a nice dinner. Now, tell me everything you know about the United States government. I would never. But some people will do it. You can find a weak link. You can find a person that wants to be treasonous already and influence them. All right, as we see right there. Now, what I want to know is how many Sue Mi Terrys and Eric Swalwells are there in the government? There's so much corruption going on. Like I speak about it here, the corruption that happens, but the corruption is beyond what you can imagine. It's really crazy. DC is a very, very corrupt place. Absolutely. All right. Yes, Amrox, not North Korea, South Korea, which is very confusing because aren't they our allies? Like we have our military over there protecting them all over the country, and at the DMZ, we're there. I don't really understand. Hey, it's whatever. Somebody told me, everybody spies on everybody. I guess so. I guess so. Now, here's her husband, Max Boot. Now, I almost forgot. One thing I forgot to mention. Sometimes they would have Sue Mi Terry on television and ask her about certain things. And part of her being a spy was to be paid to say certain things on TV when they would ask her. So if they're asking her about South Korea and it'd be kind of a specific, sensitive question, she already got coached and paid to say a specific thing on television and in published articles. So when you're watching the news, it's one thing to understand that most of the mainstream media is fake. That's one thing to understand. Or, how can I put this? If you see something on television, always fact check. It doesn't matter who it comes from. It could be on Fox News. It could be on MSNBC. Always fact check. Because you never know what's going to be true or what's going to be false, what's going to be hyperbole. You don't know what's going on. Now, in the case of Yum Yum here, she was straight up getting talking points to say from South Korea, and she would say them on TV and in articles. Now, her husband is a guy who claims to be some kind of spy hunter. He was talking about, there's foreign agents in Trump's administration. He was the guy that was talking about that. So, okay, Mr. Spy Hunter. Okay, Mr. Spy Expert, how do you not know that your own wife is a spy? How'd that work? You know what? I don't want to say what I'm going to say. I'm going to keep it moving. I'm going to say it. Your wife was convinced to spy on the United States for date night. Hey, Max, how about you take your wife to get sushi in a handbag and maybe she wouldn't told on us to the South Koreans? But I'm kind of spitballing here. Maybe I'm right, maybe I'm wrong, but I digress.
Even before the Mueller report, Anderson, we are in a worse position than we were in Nixon's final days, because with Nixon, you could certainly doubt his moral capacity to do the job, but nobody could doubt Nixon's intellectual capacity. On the other hand, with Trump, not only is he amoral, but he's also too stupid. He doesn't understand the basics of the job, so he can't carry out his duties. Trump, not only is he amoral, but he's also too stupid. He doesn't understand the basics of the job, so he can't carry out his duties. Even before.
So yeah, that's Max Boot talking about how Trump is stupid and he has foreign agents in his camp and the campaign and the administration. But meanwhile, Max Boot's wife has been accused by the federal government, not by ABL, by the federal government, of being a spy for South Korea for sushi and handbags. Not even getting paid no money, which is crazy. But anyway, shout out to him. And Fang Fang. All right, it is what it is. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, let's get to Biden right quick. Then we're going to get to a few more things. Oh, hold on. Before Biden, I almost forgot. Now, this might be a little bit PG-13, but I won't show anything crazy. It's just kind of a spicy headline about government. It's nothing crazy, but it might be a little bit. It might be a little bit PG-13. Okay, so check it out. This is on Outkick. It could be wrong. I'm gonna just pose it out there and ask you guys a question. Reality star and retired fartpreneur Stephanie Matto claims she's been secretly dating a U.S. senator who pays to watch her eat for the past year. Now, first of all, here's a young lady. Do you believe it? Number one. And number two, if you believe it, who do you think the senator is? All right. Who do you think the senator is that's been paying her to watch her eat? All right. I'm just putting it out there. Now, we've heard quite a few things about DC, how they get. Madison Cawthorn exposed it, and right when he exposed it, he vanished. That was pretty much the end. He was a rising star, all on television, social media, giving out pizza to the troops in the parking lot. Remember that? That was the last time we saw him. After he told about the party at somebody's house that might get a little bit, a little freaky, whatever. That was it. So, okay. Is it Adam Schiff, Chris Christie, Nadler, Democrat? They don't say. I don't know. Democrat, Republican, Independent. I don't know. Yeah, she didn't say who the guy was. She didn't say who the guy was. She just said she's been secretly dating a U.S. senator, so not a state guy, but going to D.C., a Bob Menendez type character, I suppose, right? For a year, and he's been paying to watch her eat. Goat Bar Bob, Lindsey Graham. Lindsey Graham, nah. If it's Lindsey Graham, it ain't going to be her. I'll tell you what. It ain't going to be her. It's going to be somebody a little bit different. So, yeah, shout out to her. Hey, some are going to say, oh, that's just, I believe it personally. I'm not even really. If it comes out to be a senator that we all know, love, whatever, I wouldn't be surprised. Not in the least bit. Now, let's go to Biden right quick. And we're going to get to Trump and the speech in just a minute. Y'all, please hang tight. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Raphael Warnock, again, it ain't going to be that kind of person right there. It'll be something a little bit different. A preacher, a Democratic preacher, a black Democratic preacher in Atlanta. Man, come on, man. Be for real. It ain't going to be her. It's going to be a little boy. But anyway, here's something from Biden about his cognitive function. Let's check him out on the plane. or trying to access the plane very slowly. You got piercing sound, so I'll turn that sound off. Let's just watch the video here. And my man is walking as slow as possible up the stairs. Maybe they said, hey, no more that little fake old man jog because you don't want to fall on these steps. Because if you fall, it's going to be a done deal. All right. Yeah, you can't fall on these hard steps like this. Your knees, your back, your neck, your ankle will all be mangled up in a very short period of time. So what do you guys think? Do you think Biden looks good? The picture of health, virile, ready to go out there and be like Vladimir Putin riding on the bear with your shirt off? Is he going to do that kind of thing or nah? Y'all just let me know. I mean, I'm just trying to figure out what I'm looking at on the screen. Somebody say he looks dead. It's not on slow motion, I promise. Not on slow motion because you can see everybody else moving at regular speed. See my man right here with the suit? He's moving at regular speed. It's only Biden who is going very slowly. Okay? Not on slow-mo at all. It's just him moving slow. All right. So that's that. But anyway, let's keep on going. Now, did you guys see this? Where it looks like Joe thought this lady was actually Jill. And some say he tried to kiss her. Now, I don't know if I saw the kiss. I don't know if I saw the almost kiss. I'm not going to say he did that, but he appears to be kind of confused. And you're going to see the body language, right? So you're speaking to the lady right here. This is not Jill Biden. This is a random lady. It's not Jill Biden. Here comes Jill. And then, okay. Watch. Here comes Jill from the corner, the caretaker, to get Joe. Oh, that's what his face says. Is this Doug Emhoff? Can we talk for a minute? Can we please talk for a minute? Wait a minute. Wait just a minute. All right, hold on. Why am I always seeing Doug Emhoff up Jill Biden's hind parts? What are we doing? Like, what is the problem? Hold on. Because let's not act like we didn't see this on TV together. Let's not act like we didn't see this on TV. This was during the State of the Union, I believe. When was this? This was, State of the Union address earlier last year, February last year. Now, again, if you don't know what this is, Doug Emhoff is Kamala Harris's husband. That's the guy right there on the left kissing Jill Biden, who is obviously Joe Biden's wife. So why is Kamala Harris's husband kissing Jill Biden's wife on the lips? Why? And then why am I seeing him right here? Why is he right here with Jill? So look, let's start from the top. Okay, he thinks this lady right here is the wife, maybe, perhaps. Here comes Jill. No, Joe, it's me right here. See, look, it's me. And then there goes Doug. What are you doing right there? Are you guys seeing what I see? Doug Emhoff. If you are fornicating with the president's wife, you ought to be ashamed of yourself, man. How dare you do something like that, man? Really? You married to the vice president and you sneaking around with the president's wife? For real? That's gross, man. That's nasty, man. That really is. Oh my goodness. But look, and you know what? I've seen them together on more than one occasion. So what's really happening? Or maybe Doug is also a caretaker. I don't know, but I think something's going on. Yeah, I definitely think that. Remember, somebody said to Madison Cawthorn, hey, we're having a party at our house. Maybe Doug got the same invite and say, hey, wait, you know what? I'm with it. Come on, let's go. Where's a party? I'm going to be there. Do you have cocaine? I'm there. That's probably why we saw cocaine at the White House. But anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right. Oh, now speaking about Joe, being elderly and whatnot, he forgot Lloyd Austin's name, the defense secretary, and let's see what he called him instead. And by the way, this is going to be on BET. First, we had Joe on the Breakfast Club talking about, hey, if you're not sure if you're voting for me or for Trump, that you ain't black. He said that on the Black Show, Breakfast Club, in 2020. Wasn't really a big deal. Black folks still went out and voted for him, right? That happened back then. Now, here we are in 2024. Let's see what he says. Hold on, let's get a little bit of sound here, shall we? That might help.
And so it's all about treating people with dignity. And it's about making sure that, look, I mean, for example, look at the heat I'm getting because I named the Secretary of Defense to a black man. I named Ketanji Brown. I mean, because of the people I've named. And
so, did you forget Lloyd Austin's name? Okay, Ketanji Brown. He's trying to say, like, I know because I know politics and I know what he's going to try to make a point about because of who is behind the scenes running the show. I know what they're going to say. But that's no excuse. Like, I have to be able to hear you say what you need to say. I know what you're going to say because I know politics. This is what I live every day in my life. This is what I'm obsessed with. But normies have no idea what you're talking about. They were like, the black man, who's the black man you're talking about? And Ketanji Brown Jackson, who is that? They're not going to know these people. You're trying to say, I got heat for bringing on black people to the administration. That's what you're trying to say. Although I've not heard anybody say that. I've not heard anybody say that they don't like Lloyd Austin because he's black or Ketanji Brown Jackson. What I hear is complaints about their policies. That's what I hear. I also hear complaints about Lloyd Austin having cancer and then not trying to tell anybody. Maybe that's important because you're, I think 6th in line of succession and you got cancer. That might be important to know, maybe perhaps, because if you kick the bucket, that's going to be kind of an important loss. Matter of fact, hold on, let me see. The black guy's what he said. That's exactly what he said. Hold on, who said that? Ramon Gonzalez. Yep, the black guy. So let me see. Line of succession. Can it pull it up? So Secretary of Defense. I was right. Number 6, Lloyd Austin. So it goes Vice President, Speaker of the House, President pro tempore of the Senate, Secretary of State, Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of Defense, and then Attorney General, Secretary of the Interior, Agriculture, Commerce, etc. So that's pretty important for the guy who's number 6 in line to have cancer and not tell anybody. But one more time, then we keep on moving.
And so it's all about treating people with dignity. And it's about making sure that, look, I mean, for example, look at the heat I'm getting because I named the Secretary of Defense to a black man. I named Ketanji Brown. I mean, because of the people I've named.
Yeah, this guy, he knew Ketanji Brown Jackson. He knew that name, but he forgot Lloyd Austin. So he was just trying to go to that one. I see his thought process, but the thought process is jumbled. It's not cohesive. He'll just skip to things that he remembers because he can access it quickly, but things he forgets, he just totally rambles off and doesn't finish a thought. There's no conclusion to some of the sentences. Now, I'm no expert, I'm not a doctor, but those appear to be telltale signs of a disorder that are probably common among people who have it, not just Joe Biden. All right. A lot of you guys may hear him speak and hear your elderly family members speak the same way because they are going through some things mentally. And again, I've always said I'm not trying to be an ageist person, if that's the thing. But at a certain point, maybe you shouldn't be up there if you have that kind of memory, those kind of memory lapses. All right, let's keep on moving here. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. All right, let's keep on moving. If you guys didn't see some of these clips from the speech, before I get to the speech, it was very emotional in certain parts. Very, very emotional. When he brought out the firefighter helmet and the jacket, got me. Totally got me. This part right here, I'm gonna just show this. When he came out and kissed the helmet and it had the jacket from Corey Comparatore, the retired volunteer fire chief who was shot and killed at the rally that Trump was shot at. That was an emotional moment. Y'all know me. My dad was a firefighter, died on Christmas Day 2020. So when I saw that, it was like a flood of emotions and memories hit me. And then I felt what Trump was feeling, because right here in this picture, it's like he's putting his hand on his shoulder, because they could have easily switched places. You understand? It could have easily been Trump that's deceased and Corey Comparatore who was injured and lived. So it's like, okay, you're right here with me. That was a very, very powerful moment at the RNC on stage. And of course, you know what normies are going to do. Is the name spelled right on the jacket? Is the name spelled right? First of all, the name was always spelled wrong on the jacket. And I think Mr. Comparatore's firehouse sent that jacket to Trump for the speech, or they sent it to the RNC. So the name was spelled wrong on the jacket, but it was always spelled wrong at the firehouse. It's not like Trump's team made up a fake jacket and spelled the name wrong on it, but that's how normies think. Worry about the wrong thing. It's an emotional moment. It's a real moment. But rather than worrying about that, oh, the name's spelled wrong. I mean, people are people, so it's okay. But that was a really impactful moment.
Turned to my right and was ready to begin a little bit further turn, which I'm very lucky I didn't do, when I heard a loud whizzing sound and felt something hit me really, really hard on my right ear. I said to myself, wow, what was that? It can only be a bullet. And moved my right hand to my ear, brought it down. My hand was covered with blood, just absolutely blood all over the place. I immediately knew it was very serious, that we were under attack, and in one movement proceeded to drop to the ground. Bullets were continuing to fly as very brave Secret Service agents rushed to the stage, and they really did. They rushed to the stage. These are great people, at great risk, I will tell you, and pounced on top of me so that I would be protected. There was blood pouring everywhere, and yet, in a certain way, I felt very safe because I had God on my side. I felt that.
So yeah, shout out to Trump. That was, a really big part of the speech. Very emotional. I thought it was a relaxed kind of vibe, kind of more calm. It was a good speech. Some said it was too long, 90 minutes. He was just up there rambling. I thought it was a good speech, but people who did not like Trump already would say that he was rambling because that was their opinion already. It's not much you can do to win somebody over if you're not open-minded. If you get an open mind, like you may not necessarily like Trump or no Trump, but if you have an open mind, you're more receptive to things that he's saying. But if you're already closed off and you're going to vote Democrat anyway, then it doesn't really matter what Trump says. Now, here we go. Here's a moment. Got the grandkids coming up. We got J.D. Vance right next to him.
8 years ago, my father sat our family down. He spoke of a nation in decline, of dreams slipping away, of a future endangered by failed leadership.
So that's a good moment, sitting with the grandkids. If that was Joe Biden, you already know what was going on. The hair sniffing and things of this nature. That's a good paw sitting with his grandbaby. That's the way it's supposed to be. All right. So shout out to Trump, the family man. And shout out to all these grandkids with the blonde hair. Hey, you got them strong genes, sir. And them genes are crazy. All right, with that straight, is that come from Trump or who's that come from? I don't know who the blonde hair comes from. But anyway, shout out to him. And shout out to everybody out there. Okay, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. We got a 98-year-old World War II veteran.
And President Trump, back as Commander-in-Chief, I would go back to re-enlist today.
And by the way, the crowd, electric at the RNC, electric. And also at the rally that just happened today, was it Michigan somewhere? I'm not sure where that was. We'll get to it in a minute. But the crowd's electric, packed to the top. I mean, just really, really, really massive. Now, they said Barron was not there at the RNC for some reason. I'm not really sure why.
And I was stormed whatever beach my country needs me to fight again. God bless you. God bless our home and the United States of America.
So yeah, shout out to my man, 98 years old. What was that? What it said? A World War II? I don't think it'd be World War II. Yeah, World War II veteran. 98 years old, still rocking. So God bless him. 98 years old, almost 100. Sounds better than Joe Biden, for sure. You know, he's 98 years old. He don't sound like a spring chicken, but he sounds better than Joe Biden. All right, here's a good story from J.D. Vance about Mama, I think. Let me see. Nah, it was his mom, not his, not Mama, but his mom.
And I'm proud to say that tonight my mom is here.
RP to the headphone user. Sorry for the loud noise, but we got differences in sound from the recordings. Let's go to this one.
And I'm proud to say that tonight my mom is here. 10 years, clean and sober. I love you, Mom.
Now remember, J.D. Vance's mom was an addict when he was growing up. So I believe he was raised by his grandmother or grandparents. For the most part, his mom had problems with drug addiction. I mean, really, this was a brilliant choice by by Donald Trump to select J.D. Vance as the vice president because you're from Ohio, so you're going to have the Midwest really be on your side. And there's a lot of swing states out there in the Midwest. That's number one. And number two, his story, Middletown and, you know, being in the poor white area, you're Appalachia adjacent. I don't think Cincinnati is really Appalachia. That's like kind of right outside Appalachia. There's Appalachian people in that area, but it's not really Appalachia for real. You're kind of out. You're not really in the mountains at that point, but he could still relate to that whole area. So it was a good move. And his mom being on drugs for a long time now, being clean and sober, it's the perfect person for right now. And then once he becomes the president, perhaps, it'd be a great story. You're coming in with Trump and you fighting through all the stuff that's going on, assassination attempt, your mom was on drugs, raised by your grandparents, coming from a poor white place, living the American dream. You got an Indian wife. It's perfect.
And
that's what I was saying. Somebody said it. No mountains near Cincinnati. Yeah, Cincinnati. That's not really Appalachia. That's like right outside of Appalachia. When you go east a little bit, once you get closer to Ironton and stuff like that, Huntington, West Virginia, now you're in Appalachia. Once you get really to Columbus, Ohio, that's Appalachia in my opinion. I got a lot of family out there in Columbus. If you see anybody that looks like me at all in Columbus, they are my cousin. And I'm probably right when I say that. And I'm being serious. I think they had a family reunion out there. and they had this arena or something for the reunion. It was crazy. But yeah, shout out to my Columbus, Ohio family members. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. We got a few more things to get to. Oh, we got to talk about this crowd size out here in Grand Rapids, Michigan for the rally that happened today. Look at this. I'm going to turn the sound down because you got a little bit of screeching noise here. But look at this crowd size in Grand Rapids, Michigan, in an indoor place. It's like a basketball arena type size. Packed. All the way up to the top, the floor, everything packed. Now, of course, you can secure this kind of building better than you can secure an outside place. Well, it shouldn't be that hard to secure an outside place. But in the building, there's no excuse. Okay, metal detectors and things of this nature, you could secure things here versus being outside. Oh, we couldn't secure the roof. I had a slope on it. The dumbest thing in the world. No excuses inside of this building here. And again, packed from top to the bottom. Top to the bottom. All right. Extra Ill says Columbus is far from Appalachian. I guess if you move in there from California, it's not for you. But I got family out there. It's the same. They're the same as us in West Virginia. It's literally no difference. Yeah, the Columbus people are the same as, because it's like not that far away. It's the same thing. Southern Ohio is, in my opinion, Appalachia, except for maybe Cincinnati. But the rest of that is Appalachia, for sure. Now, once you get closer to Cleveland, obviously, like once you go beyond the south of Ohio, now you're in the Midwest. All right. But shout out to you guys. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's keep on moving here. We got some more. Okay. Talking about Elon and SpaceX. And by the way, I think Elon's moving. Elon already has SpaceX in Texas, if I'm not mistaken. Elon has a Tesla plant in Austin. Now he's going to move Twitter, now known as X, and SpaceX to Texas because of what's happening with California. And it was funny because Gavin Newsom tried to troll him, talking about, oh, Elon bent the knee. So moving to a place that's better for my business is bending the knee. Nah, I'm not paying these ridiculous taxes. I don't want to have my employees living in dangerous areas, depending upon where I'm at. So yeah, I'm going to go to Texas and have a better time. For sure. Yeah, I know Cleveland and Appalachia. I ain't say that. I said it's not up there. That's Midwest. Cleveland, that's like Cleveland and Detroit are like the same. That's Rust Belt stuff. That's not Appalachia. Ain't no mountains in Cleveland. Yeah, I know that. Like I say, I'm from Appalachia. I live here right now. East Tennessee is Appalachia. Yeah, all my family's Appalachian. Y'all Cleveland people, that's like I said, that's like Flint, Michigan, and Detroit and places like that on that lake right there. Industrial stuff. But anyway, I digress. Check it out.
So Elon endorsed me recently, the other day, actually. He's great. Elon Musk. He's a brilliant guy. Every time I call him, he's talking about, I got a new idea for a rocket. You have to hear this? No, it's true. You know, the first time I ever saw this, I'm watching television like 3 years ago, and I see a rocket engine, motor engine, come down landing, straight up in, no wings, no nothing, and it's landing. I thought I was seeing things. What is that? And it's landing on a barge in the middle of the ocean. And then another one comes down, and another one, I guess 4 of them came down, 3 or 4, and they land upright. I said, what the hell was that? I've never seen that before. Now, if that were government, you wouldn't see that for another 50 to 100 years. But it was Elon. Now, think of that. And I called him, and I've always had a good relationship with him, but I called him, and I said, what was that? He said, well, we saved the engines. We saved the engines because it's very expensive to build. So, I mean, it didn't take me long to figure that if you save them, that's good. But who the hell thought you could do that? No wings, no nothing, just like these big, long, massive tubes, and they're landing gently right on the dot. I said, that's the coolest thing I've ever seen. And you say, How long would it take government to come up with that one? I don't think they ever heard of it. Perhaps they still haven't heard of it. But, you know, he's a very advanced person, and he's doing other things that are great, and so are other. We have to make life good for our smart people, you know? We have some smart people. We have to make life good for our smart people. And he's as smart as you get.
And that's a really good point. Make life easy, make life good for smart people. Don't make things oppressive. We're talking about taxes, regulation. Make things good for them. Allow them to innovate, allow them to create jobs, allow them to make America great again. Absolutely. And somebody said, what about Sevierville, Tennessee, Appalachia? Yeah, Sevierville is definitely Appalachia. That's up in the mountains, East Tennessee, up by Knoxville. You're smack dab right in Appalachia. Absolutely. But once you come down south further from West Virginia, Ohio, the mountains just get smaller. Once you kind of go out west a little bit, like Huntington, or once you get into like southern Ohio, it's fewer mountains, but it's more of the Appalachian culture. Okay, it's just a little bit difficult to explain. You got to kind of go there. And Columbus is a little bit, it's like central, but for me, my family out there is the same as my family in West Virginia. It's no difference. But let's keep on going here. And here is probably the quote of the quote of the actual rally in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
And they keep saying, he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy? Last week, I took a bullet for democracy. What did I do against democracy? Crazy. And they keep saying, he's a threat to democracy. I'm saying, what the hell did I do for democracy? Last week, I took a bullet for democracy.
And nobody can say that he didn't. Nobody can say that he didn't. Oh, he just got grazed and it wasn't that serious, all kind of stuff. Well, I mean, regardless, like if you got grazed, it means you got shot. You didn't get seriously injured, but you got shot. That's a fact. And it's crazy to see some of the people talking about that he staged this. How is it possible to stage getting shot on your ear and barely, I'm talking about by the grace of God, barely missing his actual head? You can't make that up. You can't. It's impossible. There's no way you could do that. He was moving around. It's impossible to make that up. I could see maybe if he was being stationary and it was something that was right close, but even still, I'm not letting nobody, like if you pitch that to me and say, hey, Mr. President, we're going to shoot you in the ear, but you got to stand right here. If you shift just a slight bit, you're going to die. There's no way I would do that. There's no way ever I would do that. And I know Trump is a smart man. He ain't going to do that. So to all those talking about, oh, it was staged and it was fake and he wanted to get shot and do the fist pump, man, look, all that happened in real time. In real time, he just did it. Like sometimes you may see YouTubers go on kind of a viral rant on the live stream. The rant gets clipped and it goes viral. And then people try to say all kind of dumb stuff. But really, it was just him talking. It wasn't a thing that he tried to do. He just did it. Same thing with Trump. He's there giving the speech as normal. All of a sudden, pop, 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 pop. I'm trying to not get shot. I get clipped in the ear. And I go like this, and the whole thing changes so much. It goes viral. So all that a hater can do on the outside is say is fake. And then what the kids say, hater will say is fake. That's exactly what's going on here. All right. Now, speaking of haters, we got some haters. We have some haters in the building. Okay. Now, hold on. Here's a hater right here. I think he's out there in Michigan.
He's an asshole.
Oh, sorry for the cussing. Blame the black man. Now, this guy, all right, sir. First of all, hypertension is your worst enemy, but he has a shirt that says F Trump, the full word, not censored at all. So shout out to the little kids watching him out there on the street with a shirt with profanity on it. It says F Trump. He has a sign that says Biden Harris, and he has a Biden Harris pin. Black dude, looking like one of my uncles, plus about 100 pounds on the midsection. But let's hear from him. And sorry for the cursing. I apologize.
He's an asshole. He should be locked up. Welcome to the ghetto. Welcome to hell. Welcome to hell.
So then on the back of it, it says something about the racist and reactionary Republican agenda.
I hope your daughter get raped. He's an asshole.
So look, sir, that's not very nice what you were doing out there, cursing, talking about you hope somebody's daughter gets assaulted. That's not very nice. You know what you should be doing rather than being out here harassing people? Eat a salad. Or matter of fact, don't eat nothing for a few days. You not gonna die. You be all right. Don't eat food for like 3 days. I promise. You're like a camel right now. Okay. You don't need any more food sources. You got it right there on your pouch. Okay. Your pouch in the front has enough food for you for a while. Rather than being out here harassing these good people, cussing at them, wishing negative things on them, you should focus on your health. You're about one hamburger away from the ground. One hamburger too much, boom, it's going to be a done deal. My man, get it together. Yeah, exactly, BZ. Rather than being out here harassing people in one little spot, walk around that block a few hundred times. Do that. That'd be a better use of your energy. Hey man, you wouldn't vote for Kamala Harris, Joe Biden, Gavin Newsom, or whoever they decide to put out there in November. Go ahead, man. Knock yourself out. I support your right to vote. But leave people alone, man. I would never go out there and harass people. Never. That's just kind of crazy to do. Especially when I weigh about 200 pounds too much. But anyway, I digress. If you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got super chats on deck. Then we're going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. We're going to read super chats, and then we get to the calls. And thank you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. I could not do this show without you. Was he paid, Stella? I believe it. Yeah, I believe it. He was paid to go out there and do that. And all he's going to do is spend all that money on food. He's going to go straight to the buffet and stuff his face and be broke the next day. And even fatter than he is right now. But anyway, I digress. And the reason I can make fat jokes is because I was overweight at one point as well. Now, I did not have this big pregnant belly. I was never looking like I'm in my third trimester. I was never looking like that. But I was bigger than I am right now, for sure. And I had to lose weight the same way I'm telling him to lose weight. I would never tell anybody to do a thing that I haven't done. Okay? I would never tell anybody to do that. Or that I wouldn't do. If I tell you guys to do something or I suggest it, that means I have done it or I would do it if I needed to. For example, if somebody calls me and says they have issues with local politics and things aren't getting better, I would say, hey, why don't you run? Now, I would run as well if I saw a need and if people tried to really get me to do it. If they say, hey, ABL, you got to do it, man. Things are going crazy out here. We got too many problems. I'd run. But in my neck of the woods, we have really good leadership, really good people. I live in an overall really good place. So shout out to East Tennessee and shout out to everybody that we have in office. But if I was out here and we had a bad mayor or a bad leader, I would try to get in there and fix things up myself if that was called for. But right now we good. Right now we good. But anyway, I digress. Shout out to Leo Mazzina, who says, I grew up in Union City, New Jersey. Bob Menendez, the Goat Bar Bob, was the mayor at the time. Before him was Mayor William Musto. He was convicted of fraud and extortion. Musto was like a father figure to Menendez. Oh, okay, so we got the same thing going on. Like father, like son. Okay, the mentor gets locked up for corruption and the mentee engages in corruption. Same thing. That kind of Michael Guest, who says, now that Baldwin walked out of the courthouse a free man, he can make another movie using the cast from The View. Why? Because the old hens are still clicking. Trump 2024. Shout out to you, man. I appreciate you for your super chat. All right. Shout out to Apu Bakr Alpuff Daddy, who says Sink Uyghur, a.k.a. Chunk Yogurt, and Mark Zuckerberg have complimented President Trump on his toughness and fighting spirit. Wouldn't it be great if they became MAGA supporters? That would be good. You know, regardless of Chunk and Anna and what they've been doing over the years, if they decided to turn over a new leaf, I'd embrace them. If it was genuine, I'd say, you know what? Come on over, man. We forgive you for what you did in the past. Now, throw that away, denounce that, and come over here. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. So shout out to Chunk Yogurt and Zuckerberg. Thank you to Apu again, who says, Jack Posobiec observed in the recent movie Civil War, the character of the president, a stand-in for Trump, cowers and cries behind his desk. The real Trump, however, actually gets shot and then pumps his fist up. True, exactly. That kind of Michael Critchlow says, have you seen the viral video of the German woman saying Black American women are no competition? Hodge twins and Anton Daniels have already chimed in. I saw that video, but I don't really like talking about stuff like that because it fuels the race war between black men and black women on the internet. And the truth is, it's kind of dumb because we come from the same households. So it's like, if black women are an issue, then so are the black men. And I hear from both sides. I hear things that some black men do and some black women do. And I feel like it's the same thing, really. It's just, it manifests differently. So I might cover that and then come from that angle rather than necessarily agreeing with her. Yeah, I'm going to just talk about how the race war is dumb. So yeah, I will cover that. Thank you, Michael Critchlow. Let me just make sure I get that. I'm gonna try to find that right now while I'm thinking about it. What's that? German woman, black women. Yeah. So let me go ahead and just
Black American.
Yeah, put that right there. It was a weird video. It's weird. Anyway, that's an Uncle ABL topic right there. Thank you to Apu Bakr Alpuff Daddy, who says Seth Rich, Epstein, J6, Mar-a-Lago, Raid, Inside Jobs. Now J13, also an inside job. Federales should know these inside jobs endanger their own lives. Hey, I have nothing to say. You said it all right there. Apu also says, Uncle ABL advice. If a hottie likes you, she's a spy. If a hottie likes you, she's a spy. I mean, but I'm just saying, look, you're in the federal government, right? And then all your life, for 45 years, you've been the ugly duckling. Here comes this 5'11" Chinese supermodel talking about, I love you. I love you. I love you. Come on, man. Be for real. Like, understand what's going on. Don't let her anywhere near you because it's just not really real. You're not offering to pay no rent or nothing like you just, okay, I'm just handsome. You just love me all of a sudden for no reason. Be serious. There's an ulterior motive there. Come on. But maybe I'm wrong. Shout out to Fang Fang, a.k.a. Yum Yum. Thank you to Apu again, who says, hey, ABL, meet my Cambodian girlfriend, Miso. I ain't going to read that one, man. We got little kids watching. But shout out to you, man. Thank you to Michael Guest, who says, she Yum Yum. Look, man, you guys, I can't read these. But shout out to you, Michael. I appreciate it. Thank you to John Sanabria, who says, I got 5 on it. Appreciate you for that. Thank you to Apple, who says, ABL, who's a famous person that you like to meet? That's a really good question. I would love to meet Trump, of course, number one. But aside from Trump, a famous person I'd like to meet, I'd like to meet probably like a really smart person and pick their brain, like an Elon, Kanye. Yes, Kanye. Maybe even the Bill Gates, although I don't like Bill Gates' politics, obviously. I just want to pick their brain and talk to them on a deeper level than just what you would see on television, if that makes any sense. I'd want to meet somebody famous and learn from them. That's what I want to do. Shout out to Laura Catherine for your emoji with the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Thank you to CR for the GG clapping emoji. Thank you to Michael Guest, who says, may we see Joe Biden's medical records, Trump 2024. We should see those. Thank you to Hail Mary, who says, I finally got my bank card working. Woohoo, let's go, ABL. Shout out to you. Thank you to Tony Hay Munkets for gifting 5 ABL memberships. Thank you to Uncle Horse, who says, did you know Austin Private Wealth shorted 15 million shares of Donald J. Trump, DJT, in a put option the day before their attempt? Did you know they're owned by BlackRock? Crooks was in a BlackRock commercial in 2022. Suspect. Hey, you said it, not me. Thank you to 01 Lee, who says, keep up the good work. Trump Vance 2024. Appreciate you for that. Thank you to Charity Manigault for becoming an ABO supporter. Thank you to TJ Jizzle, who says, to Uncle Horse statement, the trades disappeared the following day, which never happens, and the 2 companies are held by Soros and 4 political figures. Wow. How did that happen? What's going on with that? Very spooky. I'm not saying that they knew about it and they planned about it and they tried to make money off of it by shortening his name right before the thing happened. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, what's going on? Can we get some explanation there? Thank you to Tony Hay Munkits for gifting the ABO membership. Thank you to Laura Catherine, who says the left doesn't want people to think for themselves. It's a threat to their control over the masses. Thank you to M. Massey 4321, who says, I guess Joy is quite adjacent. Thank you to TJ Jizzle, who says, yes, it was the same person, but she was fighting tactical girth. Thank you to Lothair, who says, what's your opinion of no-fault divorce? I'm curious about your opinion personally. If I'm going to divorce my wife for abusive behavior, me and divorcing wife. Well, okay. As I was saying earlier, no-fault divorce just means you can get divorced for any reason or no reason. Wake up one day and say, hey, you know what? I'm done. I'm out. I'm on a divorce. Now, if no-fault divorce gets abolished, then there must be a reason. There must be a fault. Somebody's abusive. Somebody's cheating. Infidelity. Somebody is using drugs. The husband abandoning their family. Things like that are reasons for a divorce. Under a no-fault divorce system, there's no reason. You see what I'm saying? You could just get divorced for whatever. So there are reasons why you would get divorced, but no fault, there is no reason. You could just say, I'm done and I went out. And people are kind of upset about that because men have children sometimes, and the wife says, okay, I'm done for no reason. And they just take the house, the kids, everything just because. So they want it to be a little bit more difficult to have that go on. Now, if you ask me, I don't see an issue with no-fault divorce. I think you should be able to leave if you want to leave. Listen, if you're tired, somebody said it depends on the state. Thank you, CB. If you don't want to be married to somebody, you should be able to leave. The problem is the laws that come along with it. Family court, dealing with the kids and division of assets. That's when it gets tricky. Hey, Mr. Man, I'm married to you for 10 years. In California, now I get lifetime alimony, perhaps, potentially, if you're rich or whatever. I get the kids and the house and the dog, everything. You, hey, man, figure it out. That's the problem. It ain't the no-fault divorce. It's the laws that go along with it. All right. But anyway, shout out to Trav for your donation. And also Trav says, AOC so bad, shame she thinks without thinking. Shout out to, or speaks without thinking. Thank you to Tony Hay Munkits for gifting the ABO membership. Thank you to Ryan Henderson, who says, somebody saying Hillary is coming out at the crib at the DNC. Thank you to Slide. I can't pronounce your last. I can't say your last name. I'll call you Clyde. Or Clyde Scheiter, who says divine intervention saved Trump. Right on. Thank you to Andrew Rivera, who says, hey, ABL, if God wanted Trump dead, Trump would be dead right now. Trump is alive to get a job done. Trump may then leave this earth painlessly as Abraham Lincoln did. Thank you to Ryan Henderson, who says DC stands for diverse criminals. Hilarious. That's a good one. I'm going to use that again. Diverse criminals. Perfect. Hey, Ron, I'm using that one, man. Hey, give me the permission, please, to go ahead and just take that from you. Thank you to TJ Jizzle, who says, let's talk about the particular stairs he's walking up. Those are service stairs that nobody takes. Very interesting. Thank you to Nact Capper Shift, who says Jill Biden is looking for her third husband, obviously. Thank you to Smooth Artist, who says Jill is big nasty, genuinely feel sorry for Biden. Thank you to Hail Mary, who says, I cried when you told the story of your father. Trump was awesome. Sad people had to suffer because of incompetence. Absolutely. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. Thank you to Acts of Dwayne for your donation. Acts of Dwayne also says Hillary Clinton is replacing Biden at the DNC as per Alex Jones 10 minutes ago. We'll see how that works. Thank you to, I got a few more here. Sorry for the delay to the calls. Michael Critchlow says, you can't write this stuff. 2024. Thank you to Grimturd, who says, there are no Biden supporters, only Trump haters. Facts. Thank you to Regina, the godmother, who says, I wonder if Alec Baldwin thinks the Trump assassination attempt was staged. Thank you to Gina Baldwin. Oh, Alex Baldwin. Shout out to Extra Ill, who says, Black Democrats are still rioting with Biden. Pardon me. I wonder why. Could it be they hope he passes so Kamala can be the first female Black president? Tribalism shaking my head. The community will ride with anybody with a D next to their name. It doesn't matter if they're dead or alive. That's a fact. Thank you to Not a Band Account, who says Hillary for president, hashtag DNC 2024. Now it's her turn. Okay, let's see how that works. Thank you to Tim getting there for your donation. Thank you to It's Lenita, who says not being able to skip Biden ads on your channel is, sickening, trash. Federales watching. They are watching. Absolutely. Shout out to Elise Torres for the working out emoji. Keep it up. Appreciate you for that. And thank you to Stella H, who says your thoughts on Berkshire sales around 1.48 billion Bank of America shares. Think something's up. I've not seen that, but you never know what's going on. Bank of America, I don't see BOA falling. That's one of those banks that got bailed out, ain't it? If I'm not mistaken, one of those big banks, they ain't going to fall. America will not let your Wells Fargo, BOA, they're not going to let them fall. They might let your little small bank locally fall, but SVB, remember all of that stuff with the FDIC insuring accounts for $1 billion when really it's $250,000 that's the actual limit. They're not going to let those banks fall. So a short position, or I don't really see that, meaning that the bank is going to have problems to the point where it's going to affect us. All right. So shout out to you guys. I appreciate y'all. Let's get to the calls here. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. There's also an email in the description, so you can get on right here, bottom left-hand corner of the screen. If it doesn't work right, don't blame me. Blame the white man, because you know it ain't my fault. Yeah, too big to fail. Exactly, Miss Hayes. Yeah, too big to fail. So we got to pay for it as an American taxpayer rather than the companies that actually made the problem. Like SVB, Signature Valley Bank fell and they got rescued by the government. They could say that it was just the FDIC, whatever. They failed and got rescued by the federales. SVB gave Zuckerberg a 1% interest rate on a $6 million mortgage. They sure did. You do stuff like that, and then you want to come to the people to get rescued when the things you do don't go well and you fail. That's crazy. Must be nice. But anyway, let's keep on rocking here. We got calls on that. Let me get my sound together, and then I'll be right there with you. So give me a second. Okay, that ain't it. And there we go. Perfect. You're on line speaker 2937.
Hi, ABL.
Hello.
It's J-Lo again. I know that a week ago we discussed, I asked you, I said, sir, what do you think the most dangerous thing in the United States is? And 3 days later, the President of the United States was shot by a 20-year-old young man. And I remember you saying that it had a lot to do with the media and phones and apps and social media. And I have to say to you that I think that under the umbrella of that, you're absolutely correct. the three most dangerous things in the United States of America to me are, number one, anybody who carries a torch. That soft glow brings all kinds of really bored people who ain't got nothing to do. Don't go to work every day. I don't mean to say that they don't go to work every day. I just mean that usually they're bored. It's teenagers and housewives that don't have any value anymore, that are susceptible to the warm glow of anybody who carries a torch. And then they get under it, and all of a sudden we've amassed an army. And to me, that's horrifying. Like, that scares the crap out of me. And so I just had to say that, because this last week has been wild. And thank you very much for being a equilibrium for us all.
Oh, no problem.
We appreciate you. Have a great night.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you. All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. All righty, Matt. What's going on?
Anthony, how you doing, man?
It's all good, man. Can't complain. What's going on here, man? We got a face diaper on. What's happening?
Oh, well, I mean, we all still wear these, right?
I don't know who we is. I'm not included in the we.
Oh man, I don't know about that. I'm just calling in to point out how ridiculously oversized and in your face Trump's ear bandage was.
Very interesting.
Yeah, it's a little. I mean, don't you think he's exaggerating the situation?
I think somebody could say that, but if you have on the biggest mask I've ever seen in my life and the goggles and everything else, that might not be what you should say.
I'm so glad you got to me quick. These things, every moron. Remember that Lloyd Austin that would walk around with that freaking face mask and everything?
It's crazy. It's like, can you even breathe? They're talking about, it's got to be tight to your face and no air can get in. It's like, well, I'm still a human. I still got to breathe air.
I don't understand. Maybe he doesn't. The guy had to sneak out to go get butt cancer, and he was walking around with his face mask and a shield on. Yeah, I mean, everybody's so deluded right now in this whole situation with Trump. It's so apparent. But remember when I was saying a while back that Trump is the real N-word? I remember Ice Cube kind of coming out and saying it now. Now 50 Cent's coming to this table and saying, I mean, he's got
felonies, got shot. What's next? The mixtape? Yeah. Drop the album right now.
Trump is street, dude. The guy is street. I don't like to talk about the past too much. You know me. I like to try to kind of predict stuff. But one of the things that I've been noticing is a lot of vigilantism in the world, where they've kind of decriminalized things. Like one of the things that not just marijuana, but I think they've kind of decriminalized being inappropriate around kids and even doing the pee stuff. And on Twitter, there's these gangsters, vigilantes that have been entrapping these dudes in grocery stores and beating them up and stuff like that. It's a huge trend going on right now on social media. And I got to admit, sometimes it scratches an itch. But one thing that I want to point out, that not only is voter ID dead, but signature ID is dead. And I'm saying this as someone involved in politics, trained poll watchers, trained all that kind of stuff. And honestly, I don't see from the Trump campaign a big push to get everybody trained to be a poll watcher, to get people to volunteer at the tabulating centers, to do all that kind of stuff. And I'm really concerned. And I have a feeling that these vigilantes, to circle it back to that, I think there's going to be vigilante ballot box watching. There's going to be vigilante poll watching. And it will get to the point where police and sheriffs and stuff like that will get called because people don't trust the state to conduct elections. What do you think of all that?
I mean, I guess that could happen depending upon where you are. But the question I have for you is, you think it's a bad thing if that happens?
It would be from the perspective of You know, like remember when, like in like the TFC Center when they were covering up all the windows and everything like that. I mean, they were kicking guys. They kicked a guy out who was like looking for Wi-Fi connections. You know what I mean, with binoculars, like looking at the icons on the screens to see if the computers are connected to Wi-Fi and drawing the networks. There needs to be training that would train people to say, hey, they're going to get you away from the tabulating tables. Bring binoculars. There needs to be training for people to say, you know, hey, you have to have two people from both parties count. I mean, depending on the state, of course. I'm talking about Washington State. You have to have people from both parties that count ballots and verify signatures. You have to have training for people to look at what the optical character recognition settings are in the machines, like how they've trained them. And then there's machine conformity and they call it certification, but there's a whole bunch of things to watch for, and we're so far behind the beat on that.
Yeah, I mean, I see your point.
Yeah. So, yeah, and I think I was also saying Kamala Harris. I'll leave you with this, but it's super easy to get rid of Joe Biden after the convention for a legitimate reason.
So how would that go about?
So in other words, and I think in 3 of the swing states, though, I guess it's a little bit tricky, but you can literally, if there's like a legitimate reason, like medical or death or something like that, you can get rid of Joe Biden. And so in 3 states, though, they would have to conduct a write-in campaign. And I think that if they plan on cheating, they might write those states off. Like literally, they might make new swing states. So they might not even be the same swing states. Like, you know, I mean, they'd be like, okay, Ohio, Biden is on the ballot no matter what happens in Ohio after the convention. But they could look at another marginal state and conduct some sort of operation where they've I want to point this out too. It's not that illegals are voting. It's not that illegal aliens are voting. It's that illegal aliens have registered to vote at an address. And that address might be a strip mall. It might be 200, 300 of them at the same time registering to an address, the same address. It might be multiple state addresses. The ballot harvesting is where they take those ballots to people who don't even know that they got them. And then they fill them out and turn them in. And again, I'd point people back to Jesse Morgan. Hundreds of thousands of ballots. United States postal worker hooked up to hundreds of thousands of ballots and drove them across state lines from New York into Pennsylvania. So It was people living in or registering to vote in Pennsylvania from a New York address. That's how all those ballots were produced. But that's all I got for you, man. This week's been crazy.
Right on, man. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate it.
Bye.
All righty. We got quite a few more calls. The phone lines are jam-packed, so y'all please hang tight. 623 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hey, this is Jeannie Martinez. I have been trying to get a hold of somebody for a few days now. Something big is gonna happen. Is this the guy on the radio, on the program that I watch, the black gentleman?
That's me.
Okay, check it out. you believe in Jesus, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. We got to think really good. Oh my God, God left a beautiful history if people didn't mess with it so much. Us human beings didn't mess with it so much. It made it so hard to find the signs. We're living in the end time, sweetheart. He's getting ready to come. This is Armageddon. And you know who's going to fight the battle for Jesus Christ?
Who's that?
The people he tried to destroy. God's creation, his ultimate creation. Now we get to destroy it for God. We're going to eradicate the evil that's been holding our generations and generations and generations of people. We're the last tribe. Remember when who was it? Moses? God. I'm so boggled. My brain's been so fighting with it. When he just spurted all the Israelites into the desert because they wouldn't catch on. 40 years is a long time to be wandering and not catch on. The devil don't learn. He's just a manipulator and liar. You can see it so easy in politics. Oh my God. And it's everywhere. It is everywhere. People need to wake up. They need to wake up and realize what's going on, because this is going to happen, a holy war. We need to protect Israel. When the Israelites got separated, God threw them every corner of the earth. We are the last generation. People are going to be alive in the end times. There's still people going to be alive. It's going to be like any other day. People are going to be marrying and having fun. Right now, they're waking up and they're not knowing what the hell's going on. Do you understand what I'm saying, honey?
I got you.
Okay. And this thing is humongous. I don't know how big it is, because remember, he says in the Bible, no eye can ever imagine. But I got a feeling, and our riches are already I think they're already done made. He's ready. And I think the riches are going to come from all this stealing throughout this last generation of people. Since the American people came to this continent, this country, people, oh my God, how do I explain this? It's so much.
Well, I'm sorry, but I'm sorry. I'm going to cut you off, but I got a lot more calls on the line. Thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate you.
Danny, thank you. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's go to 859. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo, ABL. How's it going, bud?
It's all good, man. What's happening?
Libertarian friend, a combination of Hami Malay and Anton LaVey. I'm on my break right now, just chilling out, and I was listening to your show, and I made a comment about the no fault divorce, and I've been through a nasty divorce. It's not always fun, especially paying all those legal charges, and I wish they would have a no fault divorce, but involving not like extreme payments that I have to put up with and legal courses, even though I asked for the divorce. And I think that's a bit complicated. I think men are actually discriminated against in the court system, especially with divorce court.
Yeah, people talk about no-fault divorce that don't have experience with divorce, because it's not even no-fault divorce. It's the problem. It's the laws, because that's going to make things more difficult. It's the litigious nature of our country, and then the divorce process, going to court, having dividing assets, spending money. That's the problem. That's the actual issue. Go ahead and leave. That's fine. Do what you want to do. But let's fix up the actual laws that are behind this that are really, really skewed against the man. Let's fix that up. I think if we got that together, then we'd be fine.
I agree with you 100% of the way, because, as part of my bodily autonomy is my wealth and the way I live and the way I can, manage myself in my life. And them taking it away from me, and I completely see that's no fair, especially if I'm the one who asked for it. And especially that I have tried to be as reasonable as I can. And usually court systems, they don't want to hear it, especially if you have, something downstairs, stick a ball. And I will say the left trying to assassinate Donald Trump, it just reminds me of, the Roadrunner cartoons. I mean, it's regardless of what Trump does, he's always on top. Like him or hate him, doesn't matter. And I agree with Mocker Zuckerberg. Him, pumping the air, saying fight. That's the American spirit there. There's some stuff on here I've said on your show that I disagree with Trump and do agree with Trump. But that's the thing. That's a part of America that he made history, and I give him props for that.
Right on, absolutely.
Hey, I appreciate you taking my call, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man.
I'll call back next week.
Right on, man.
And no problem. Listen to the Libertarian out. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
All right, now, peace. All right, shout out to him. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's go ahead and go to 804. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, BL. Good morning. My name is Byron. How you doing?
It's all good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing well here. Hey, ABL, what's up with the yellow man lately? It's so embarrassing.
The yellow man? Who's that?
The yellow man, the Asians, my Asian cousins who are spying against the United States, biting police officers. What do you think's happening, ABL? Because this was 20 years ago, quite unheard of.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, what's in the water. I have no idea, but it's pretty weird.
It is strange. It is just very weird. And to think we have people from and ABL spying is something, like you said in your podcast just now. Everybody spying on everybody. Israel spied on us. We spied on MI6, the British. So it happens. But it's for me, it's heartbreaking because we have these immigrants coming here, wanting to be Americans, and then turning around and just spying on us, being turncoats. I'm not too sure what do you think it's a little bit of that TikTok life that you've been saying? Look at me.
I mean, it could be some of that for sure, but the thing with the lady, the spy that they just caught that was in the CIA, she been around for 10 years doing that. So this is before a lot of the social media really, really took hold. She been doing this for quite a while. So I don't know. It could be a combination of a few things. I wouldn't just say social media only.
Good point, ABL. I just wanted to comment and let everybody know that we are all spying, on each other. But ABL, I know a lot of people are talking about the black communities, you like to say, the decay. But it's the decay of America. I mean, not that Asians are superior, right? There's just no way. But when you see the yellow man himself falling like this, it goes to the heart of America and what's been happening. And ABL, to all my fellow Americans, and I know where you stand. Vote Trump 2024. Other than that, ABL, you have any comments before I go?
Nah, man, you got it. So thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
You have a good night, ABL. Be blessed. And everybody, vote 2024 Trump. Have a good night, America.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All right. Shout out to the call. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's go to, all right, if it'll let me. Sorry, you guys. Skype is acting the fool right now, of course, as usual. 262, you don't know who I'm speaking to.
CJ, ABL.
All righty. What's going on?
Not much. I just wanted to know if on your show tonight you guys touched on that, what do they call it, that DEI in reference to the hiring of the Secret Service or whatever?
Nah, I didn't touch on that specifically.
Because when diversity, equity, and inclusion will define diversity. You know what I mean? Like, I have a friend who's handicapped, but he'd make a great greeter at Walmart, just like like a bodybuilder or your Olympian. He could say hi at Walmart, but some jobs, it might not be a good arena for that. Like protecting the president. That's all.
Yeah, I think the Secret Service director, what's her name? I forget her name. Let me see. But I think she was talking about having the force be 30% female by a certain time. And it's like, why does that matter? I don't care what the makeup is as far as the race, gender, whatever. Let's get the best of the best to protect the president. Okay, I'm not trying to see a 5'3" HR looking lady fumbling with her weapon while trying to protect the president. That doesn't give me a sign of confidence. That just shows me that we got a very weak force when we need to have the strongest force. So yeah, all the DEI stuff.
Correct.
Yeah, let's just get the best of the best.
Even going back, like we went from horse and buggy to spaceship. Do you think we did it with that attitude? Like, if you're a bigger, stronger black guy than me and you can do something I can't, we need to get things done, it would be Captain Obvious who's going to have to do this, that, or the other thing. That's how we progress from nothing to whatever the best is behind us, in my opinion. You know, whatever we do, whoever we elect, but that's not how we got to where we got. And then I've watched in some of this corporate structure when they'll try and be more inclusive to say women, they still get the jobs that they can physically do. You know what I mean? As soon as it comes time for somebody to lift something, you know, so do we just sit and watch them struggle? You know what I mean? And like, is that how this country was built? Like, it seems counterproductive, and I don't think it's a priority. I don't see where it fits in with your day-to-day life or my day-to-day life. I don't see who's driving that force. You know what I mean? All I do know is I've noticed when you massage people's egos, they become, or you tell them you love them or whatever, or you're there to help them, they become blinded by the light, like that other female caller had said. You know what I mean? Like, the light at the end of the tunnel typically could be a freight train too. You know what I mean?
It sure could.
But either way, I love how you pick up every call, and you always get my call. So I just wanted to touch base with you. Other than that, how are things going?
Everything's good, man. I thank you for your call. I definitely appreciate it.
Right on. I'll hit you up next time.
All righty. All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. And the phone lines are jam-packed, so y'all please hang tight. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. Let's go to 929. You're on the line. What's up, two?
That they can.
Hello?
Yes, can you hear me?
As soon as it comes time.
Yes, am I live or no?
You are live, and I got some sound in the background.
So.
Okay, yes. Hi. I have a question. I'm calling
hold on. Caller, before you start.
Yes.
Turn the stream off in the background for me, please.
I did. I turned it off.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Yes, I had a question. I'm calling from New York City. And I just had a question, though. I was hearing about there was only 3 Secret Service agents protecting him. And it really frustrated me. But wouldn't you think there'd be like lots more in these events? Can someone explain why there was only 3 and why did the one lady only kind of protect him more? Because I looked at it like, that's bizarre. You know what I mean? Like, why would that have happened?
Well, okay, you know, I gotta just clarify a couple of things. So for the people that are listening, so I don't know exactly how many people from Secret Service were protecting them. Like you said, 3. Okay, if it's 3,
it looked like there was 3 in the video, and it looked like.
Hold on, caller, hold on. I got you. So what they said was there was some Secret Service and then also some Homeland Security. It wasn't all Secret Service. So even if it was 3, there were more Homeland Security. But in my opinion, and I think you probably would agree, it should have been all Secret Service. Why couldn't it have been a full staff of Secret Service that understanding situations rather than Homeland Security, who may be qualified for their job, but they're unfamiliar with how these kind of things go, you see?
That's how I agree also, but I also just thought that you'd think something like this and every other event happened, they've had tons of staff representatives protecting, but why would it seem like there was less of that and maybe more of Homeland Security?
That's a good question.
That was very strange.
Yeah, it's a really good question.
And I have one other question too now. Getting back to this 30% woman thing we were discussing before, I think the Democrats are really lost touch with reality because they're pushing this identity politics, seem to care that just want to push somebody out there to satisfy. And like you said earlier, we need the best trained, skilled people. Doesn't matter what color skin they are, doesn't matter what sex they are. But it just seems like they're just pushing this agenda of identity politics. And, you know, we shouldn't be voting for a president just because of what they look like. How about their skills and brains? And, you know, me, I look at it this way. I don't vote parties. I vote for people because that's what we should be doing. I don't really care about R&Ds. I believe that the person that's qualified should be the one that's out there campaigning. Now, what do you think about that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, just get the best person for the job. I don't care who it is. Just get the best person.
No, I agree. I appreciate it. Look, I discovered your show just about 5 minutes ago. I thought this is awesome. I'm glad to hear people talk about it. I appreciate you taking my call. And one thing also, I still cannot believe how New York City has got so
crazy over this stuff. And the few Trump people I see, I think it's great in New York City. They still being like yelled at and people making fun of them. And people need to wake up and realize they've got 25, 30 years of full Democratic rule got us nowhere in New York City. I hope other New Yorkers are listening because we need a complete change. New York could never survive if we continue to stay this way. You know, even though I'm an independent, I believe there are good Democrats, but we have not seen one yet. And I really wish whoever gets in office, if it's Trump or, you know, I really don't think Biden can lead us anymore, but I think Trump can really, he's got to really send a message that we've got to fix this country ASAP. We cannot wait. We got to do it ASAP. That's all I got to say. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate it. All right. Great call. Shout out to him. Let's keep on going. 313 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Josh from Michigan. What's going on, ABL?
Not too much, man. What's happening?
You know, just on shift. I'm a fire medic up here. Shout out to your dad and shout out to Corey Campatori. Rest in peace, brother.
Yes, absolutely. Rest in peace. Absolutely.
So I heard the other caller and you were talking about the mix-up between Homeland Security and Secret Service. And I heard something earlier that kind of caught my attention about it. And I don't know if you've ever been to a rally, but it's a pretty high-vis event, and they do have a lot of staff, not only patrolling the perimeter, but when they go through people's bags and they have the entrance, they have people roaming the grounds, they have security details that are posted. Obviously, you've seen the sniper positions. So what's curious to me is the same day that Trump was having his rally, Jill and Kamala were having another event in the same state around the same time. So if you add up the amount of staff it takes just for Secret Service to protect the First Lady and obviously the Vice President, from what I understand, the former president, Vice President, or President Trump had the leftovers because the primary details were sent to the First Lady and the Vice President.
Okay. Interesting.
So he doesn't have like a detail that always stays with him. They rotate depending on the events if he has live events. But if he's at Mar-a-Lago or anywhere else, he does have agents that stay with him, but obviously they pull shifts because obviously the same people can't stay with him 24/7.
Now, do you think that there should be...
So that's something interesting.
Do you think there should be a consistent level of training among those who are there to protect them? Because I think they had Homeland Security rather than all Secret Service. So how do you feel about that?
So the PSD detail that was assigned to him, I won't take anything away from anybody that's earned that position. Those were all GS 11 and above positions, which means you have to have the mandatory training, the academy, the classes, everything to go along with it. The situation most people find themselves in, just like, you know, when I was in the military overseas, you can train all day long, but until you have a real world incident happen, you're not going to know how you're going to react. And the sad part is, not the sad part, but the best thing about this world is we don't have many high-vis political assassination attempts. So those people that are on those details, you can practice, but when the real event occurs, you know, it's a once-in-a-lifetime event.
True.
So that lady found out that day, just like most other people, that's probably not her forte, and she should probably be reassigned. Sad that it happened on that day, and sad that it happened under those circumstances. But, you know, everybody earns the position and the right to be there. That's fine. It's just when you can't perform under pressure, it's time to accept that and go.
Very good point. Very well said.
So, but yeah, that's all I got for tonight. I appreciate, you know, putting me up on the phone, ABL. You guys be safe. Have a good night. And always remember Trump 2024.
Right on, man. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Yep. Be safe. Bye.
All right. So shout out to my man out there doing fire med. Shout out to the firefighters. Y'all want to see a picture? There's Dad right there. This, I don't know when this picture was taken. This was like 20. It had to have been like in the 05, 06, 07 era, right around this time. I don't know where he was at right there. That might have been my house. I don't even know where that was. But yeah, that's like the formal uniform they give you when you are a firefighter. I think he, at this point, I don't think he was, I don't know what rank he was at this point, but he became a captain later. So yeah, if y'all were to see me and him together and I had my shaved beard, like if you saw us from afar, you think we're the same person. It's like the same physical height, weight, everything. The same exact height, weight, all of that. It was crazy, man. Them genetics or something else. I look like my mother and my face more than my dad, but dad, I was the exact same body type. No difference. So yeah. Oh, I say dad's handsome, of course. I mean, your name is Jeffrey Brian Logan, just like Anthony Brian Logan. I mean, come on. You know, the apple don't fall far from the tree. You already know what it is. The apple don't fall far from the tree. It doesn't. It really doesn't. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. So yeah, shout out to all the firefighters, all the, the safety people, everybody, first responders, public safety. Shout out to you guys. Okay, I'm gonna take a few more calls. I'll be here for a little bit longer, but the phone lines are blowing up. Let's go 215. Line. Who's speaking to?
Hey, ABL, can you hear me?
I hear you well.
All right, so hey, ABL, so get this, right? I wanted to say that most of the people who are on the left and these LGBTQ people and people who are Trump derangement syndromes, one thing I've noticed about them is they're like a small minority of the population. They just make the most noise and some of them have a lot of influence. And the reason why I say this is because I was doing Uber and Lyft like all day for 12 hours straight. And the majority of them people, I was getting most of them like those blue-haired, head people, people who like intentionally shave their hair, and I was listening to politics all day, and then just playing Donald Trump's voice, and it's like just nobody seemed like they really cared at all.
Yeah, because most people they're not so crazy with it. The average person is not really tuned into politics. They're not watching the news all the time. They're not getting incensed by what's being said on The View or MSNBC. Some people are, unfortunately, and I think a lot of those people are going to make decisions in the country. But the average normally just walking around, they don't really know what's going on. All they might know from what they heard is that Republicans are racist without any other thing being said. But just hearing Trump's voice is not going to set them off.
Yeah. Or even just hearing his name.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I had probably one guy actually say so. He didn't have nothing negative to say about Trump. He was more on the side of he think the assassination was a setup. That's really all he had to say, because he said they want to try to keep Trump away from office, and they're desperate to do so. And mind you, this was a black guy, like one of them guys you think that's like the hood guys, the black guys. You would think he's hood, but no. That's another thing I wanted to say, ABL. A lot of hood guys I've noticed, they're actually not only in tune in politics, but it seems like they like Donald Trump.
Oh yeah, like all the hood guys I know, they with him. Like they like Trump. All of them. I don't know a hood guy that doesn't like Trump. The guys, the black folks that don't like Trump, from my point of view, are like your Carl Winslow looking characters. You know what I'm saying? They're not really in the hood type of environment. They're not what you would call hood people.
Oh yeah, like you said, like kind of like we talked about a month ago, like blue collar workers who mostly work the middle class, who just tune into the news and that's it, and just consistently watch like CNN, MSNBC, and that's all they watch without.
Yeah, there's no real. It just believe they're supposed to hate this guy because they think he's a racist and they want to kind of overcompensate. And also, a lot of these guys are led by their wives. Happy wife, happy life. Yes, dear, whatever you say. I have no backbone. You run the house. A lot of these son, husband, single parent household raised men that are soft, and whatever she says they believe without any kind of opinion of their own. So a lot of that's going on too.
Basically, yeah, that sounds about right. Basically, what you almost described as a simp.
Yeah, it's a lot of that going on. A whole lot of that going on.
So that makes a lot of sense. But you know what they say, Trump did expose a lot of frauds. Well, the frauds, most of the people just expose themselves, in a sense. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. It's like, I was out there, and the average person they just really didn't even care all that much. It's just the real extreme people, the more extreme leftists like LGBTQ members radicalized. That's really all it is.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, thanks for taking my call, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate it.
You have a good one.
Same to you now. All right. Shout out to my man for the call. Most certainly appreciate him. Let's go. 773, you don't learn. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's your retired Chicago police officer friend. Thanks for squeezing my call in, ABL. I've officially been labeled as a racist by the McDonald's Corporation here in Chicago. Let me tell you quickly what happened. I went through the drive-thru. I wanted to get an ice cream cone. I said I wanted ice cream. They, pay at the first window. When I got to the first window, I wanted to add fries, small fry. No problem. Paid the guy. Go to the second window. A very attractive Hispanic girl, maybe 18 to 20 years old, did not say a word. She had the ice cream cone in her hand, handed it to me. I asked for a napkin. She gave me the napkin, and then I waited there for the fries. So I asked her, I have fries coming. She never said a word, just smiled, was not impolite, did not say one word. So then I assumed she was Hispanic. I asked in Spanish. I know a little bit of basic Spanish, and I asked in Spanish. She did not say a word. She went and looked at the manager. The manager came over, handed her some bag to go give somebody else outside, and he said to me, "You don't have to be racist, sir. Not everybody speaks English in this country." And I said, "I understand that, but I spoke Spanish to her." And he had nothing to say. I said, "Yeah, I understand that. Who's the racist?" I spoke Spanish to her. She never said a word. And he just looked at me, and that was it. I drove away. I don't have to be racist. Then I realized, ABL, more than likely, she is not from a Hispanic-speaking country. She might be from Brazil and speak Portuguese. They don't speak Spanish in those countries. Or from another country. I'm almost Hispanic because I'm Italian, even though the languages are different. Some of the words are kind of the same. But she was just polite. But, he was like, "You're a racist." Unbelievable. And then they tell you that jobs at lower paying places are not going to those migrants. But they are. They are. I'm sure they were set up and are working. She's not from this country. I'm sure she just got here. I'm not saying anything about that. But I'm a racist because I assume you speak Spanish? Ridiculous. And my last thing, ABL, is what do you think of Hillary Clinton getting back in the race? Because I saw an article that might happen.
She has no chance because 2016, she was barely able to get through. They had to drag her from point A to point B. It was like Weekend at Bernie's. And she lost against Trump, who's running it again now. So after the whole thing, especially after the whole thing with the assassination attempt and all the lawfare and the way that the country is going under a Democratic president, I don't think the country wants to go to another Democratic president who lost in 2016 against Trump with all the momentum. I don't see how that actually works.
Well, in my opinion, this is the one thing that's different is they are desperate. They're so desperate that they tried to assassinate him. They're so desperate they tried every which way to prosecute him illegally. They've tried and tried and tried. Now I think they're desperate enough to go back to Hillary Clinton. We'll see. I'm curious what's going to happen. I really am, ABL. Thanks for taking my call. Great show, and I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for the call. Definitely appreciate it.
Thanks.
All right, great call, but that will be a wrap for me tonight. I'm sorry to all the callers I couldn't get to. I will have you guys on next time if you want to call in on Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern time to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But that'll be a wrap for me tonight. Shout out to you guys who are watching, retweeting, super chatting, whatever you're doing. I could not do the show without you. Thank y'all for joining me. You guys are the best audience anywhere on the internets. This is also an audio streaming podcast you're listening to right now. It'll be on your favorite audio streaming platforms on tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Eastern time. Just search ABL Live on your platform of choice, whether that be Apple iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, etc. And also the link for that will be in the description along with everything else. Link to the website, link to the podcast, link to the Cash App, PayPal, whatever you want. It's all in the description box below, not the comments, because we don't got time to be scammed. But again, thank y'all for being here. I most certainly appreciate you. Shout out to everybody that's been watching, retweeting, super chatting. Couldn't do it without you. Shout out to the mods for keeping the trolls in check in the chat. I really, really appreciate you for that as well. Now, I may have some more super chats here. Then I'll wrap it on up and put the bowl clean on top. Now, okay, we got breaking news here. Wait a minute. Okay, we got some breaking news. Did the Secret Service director resign? Wait just a minute. I gotta confirm this. I gotta go to my trusty sources. Okay. I don't see anything official quite yet, but there may be something. I'm seeing some people talk about it, but I don't really see nothing. Let me go to the Googles. I don't see anything specific about that. So Kimberly Cheadle, that's the Secret Service director. It's rumored that she is going to resign or may resign, but I don't see anything that's going to verify that. So if I find, some verification, I'll report on that. But right now I don't have it. Somebody said on Monday. Now, what's going to happen on Monday is that she's going to appear before a congressional committee. Yeah, that's not her resignation. That's something else. Let me just see what I'm saying right here. Yeah, I'm going to show you what's going on. So this from The Hill. It says Secret Service Director Kimberly Cheadle will appear Monday for hearing. Not that she's going to resign. All right. They want her to resign, just like right here. This is a brand new article. Just came out at 10:07 tonight. It says Democratic rep calls for Secret Service director to resign after Trump rally shooting. So, I mean, they're wanting her to resign, but she has not resigned as of yet. But hopefully she does. That'd be fantastic. And thank you, Sheree. If you have not subscribed to my other channel, Uncle ABL, please do so. I just put a video up about Kevin Durant talking about his dating life as an NBA basketball player. And I'm going to put one up about that video that was sent to me earlier from Michael Critchlow about the black woman talking about, not black woman, she was a German talking about black men are easier. It's easier for a German woman to get a black man than a black woman. So I'll talk about that, but really, I'm not really into the whole gender war between black men, black women. I'm going to just talk about it from my point of view and give my opinion on that. But anyway, that link's right there in the chat. It's also in the description. And I have some super chats right here. And again, I read that, wrap it on up, put the ball on top afterward. Thank you to F Ranger Xbox, who says, I would draw a target on my ear bandage. Thank you to Matthew, who says, thanks, love you, everyone. Shout out to Clay Bisbee 704, who says, salute ABL. Did you go over the Secret Service director quitting? We talked about that, but she's not quitting as of yet. I will hope she quit, but I don't see anything about that right now. Thank you to Todd Sorrell, who says the director, Secret Service just resigned, but that's not quite. Thank you to Ryan Henderson, who says DEI equals dem equal idiots. Shout out to Todd Sorrell, who says no, she didn't. Wrong info. It's all good. Thank you all again for being here. I'll be back live on Monday, but I'm here pretty much every day putting out pre-recorded content for you guys to enjoy. If you're not subscribed yet, please do so. And tell a friend to subscribe as well, because some of you guys may have gotten unsubscribed. Make sure you still subscribe to the channel, and YouTube's not playing games. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.